Here, I'm gonna see if she can check.
Let me, Alright. Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. I am Zim, and this is Starlight Expeditions Pokerole, Chapter 1, Episode 6, Stripes of Fortune. I will now go ahead and turn it over to Arzadeu for introductions. Also, for the record, Arzadeu used to be Blue Draconics 381.
Wait, what?
Indeed, Zim is correct. Hi there, it is Arzadeu, formerly known as Blue Draconics. I have changed my name to a better, more unique name. It's something that's been in the works. And with it, nothing has changed besides my name. But greetings YouTube and stream for everyone joining in on all three streams. That is Zim, Rygon Plays, and Arzadeu. Only me and Zim are recording for YouTube and such. And each of us have our own channels and discords. Go check them out. As well as Rygon.
I like how I'm at the end.
Don't worry, you're fine.
So, who's your character?
I was turning it over to you for your character intro, and then you went off on that, and it's like, okay.
No, it's fine, but, you know, who's your character?
See, listen, I'm a dummy. Also, I play Azurus the jangmo-o.
They are very lovely, jangmo-o.
I am Zim, and I am playing Jet the Rockruff, the Fominian form Rockruff, which is a custom form of it, which is an electric ghost type instead of just rock. Aurum?
I am Aurum Tux, and I play Argus, the adorable little tyrant, which is regular tyrant. Lots of rocks and stuff, and dragon things.
Where animal?
Hi, I'm Werenimal, and I'm playing Amos. The brain's not working. They're Growlith, yes.
Gianna.
That. Yeah, that's about it. My brain's like having a moment because I have people talking to me.
Okay. Lyndon?
Finally, I am Lyndon, and I am playing Jolene the Milcery.
And I am Rygon. I'm the storyteller for the game, and hopefully we can have ourselves some fun tonight.
As always, everyone, do remember to check down in the description of our channels. I have posted the links to everyone that is a content creator themselves, though only Rygon, Azareth, Arzadeu, and myself are streaming. But do make sure you go check out all those lovely beans and, support them in their endeavors.
Yes.
Can that be Asterix?
Yes.
What about Asterisk?
Isn't that their name?
Yes,
No, that's
yes.
the old... Oh dear lord.
I will update the command so it's twitch.tv/asterisk.
There we go.
There is
That,
no
that should help
asterisk.
people out.
So before we get too sidetracked, who would like to do our recap from the last session? Why, thank you, Arzadeu, for the volunteering.
I had a feeling it was gonna be me. Alright, so in session 5, we began in Raindrop with it raining, and then there was this creek with dead plants on both sides, and a cloaked Abra who wanted us to solve some riddles and try to solve them to get across, or else we would have fallen into the boiling river. After some riddles, and then we find out everything was just, a fluke, and the armor was doing it for fun of it. We moved on, but the lake changes our color. No, not Adorum. Argus became purple.
Why am I still a Dorum? It's been months!
you
This
keep
is what you
The
acting
get for
same
calling me
reason you.
asterisk.
Yeah, I gotta say, you keep
We
calling
need a
him
dumb name
asterisk.
for
It's
Zim.
only fair.
We need a dumb name for Zim.
Zap.
Ms.
Zim zap.
Zoop. Zim zap zoop.
Zim zap zoop.
And
Yep.
then, oh no, Amos, and then also Amos becomes pink as well. Then we came
Close.
this big, giant, looming building that looks very weathered, and there are kids playing outside of the workshop who knew Ton. And then we gained their trust, and we went inside. And then there were these weird metallic things and such. And then we yelled for the Druid, but instead we got a giant dragon. So we went to fight. And then the Druid stopped the fighting. And let's just say Druid is old lady who doesn't have good hearing. Also, she insists on tea. After some nice tea, a nice story, and Azura's being called asterisk, we moved on, and then we found out, oh hey, the story's actually real, because we went through these metallic, sharp tunnel that were like brambles, and they were fun. Also, drums on the floor at some point. Fun. No, they weren't drums.
They were drums.
They were drums. There were also trampolines. I swear they
The
were
drums
trampolines.
were like the drums were acting like trampolines because we're small.
Fair enough.
The other big Pokemons.
Then we came across some sort of encampment where there was sleeping goblins. We snuck past them, and Argus lost one of his sticks. And then we found a rock wall, and we climbed up it. Also, at the very end, Lyndon yawned. And that's the recap. I hope I did well enough.
You
Color were you
forgot.
in the river?
I didn't go in the river at all.
Yeah, you did.
No.
No,
what,
I
what,
was.
what would have been your color?
Tan.
Yes.
We
You
talked about it
forgot?
after session.
You forgot that I angered the Charizard into wanting to eat us.
No, it was just you.
Oh,
Yeah.
into wanting to eat me.
You
Oh, dear.
threw a grenade in his face.
Our modest fellowship expands. Praise the sub.
Brian
I
the
think
Wolf
they
just
approved.
subscribed.
Alrighty.
Brian the
With the
Wolf,
resub
thank you
done.
so much for that subscription. I really appreciate it.
I think Brian the Wolf approved of my grenade.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I didn't get stream readers up.
So before we go on too much further, a note. None of us will be really reacting to our chats except to say thank you for follows, subscriptions, and donations. So anything else stated, we will not be reacting to except maybe through text. Since I will be DMing, I will not be reacting to anything at all. Instead, Zim has been kind enough that he will let you all know or whatever. Let me think what else. Yeah, I think that's it. Is there anything we're missing, Zim?
That is it. Though, for those that watch these recordings on YouTube, do come join us live over here on Twitch. Do remember, everybody, that there are, you can use Ethereal Influence, which allows you to make things happen in the game. You can do that by using !influence in my chat. You can also use Stream Loots. We've got a pack of cards that you can purchase to support the channel, as well as play cards from it either help or hinder our players. And of course, if you donate to either Arzadeu or Rygon's channels, you will get some Sable Crowns to be able to influence the games with ethereal influence over on my channel.
Yep. It's a way so that way, if you still want to support us, you can still receive a little bit of a bonus if you still want to do things like ethereal influences on Zim's channel. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. You are all at the top of a rock wall. You have just opened a door labeled Exit. And you now see, stretching across a great chasm of sorts, a simple rope bridge. It sways somewhat menacingly in the air. Broken planks here and there, frayed ropes, altogether looking fairly rickety, but it appears to be the only way, the only efficient way across. What do you all do? And don't forget about your coins, everyone. If you want to talk while other people are talking, flip your coin and we'll be sure to get to you.
I think that, So it looks rickety, you said?
Oh, yes. Like, if there was ever a definition of the word rickety, this would meet it. It would be the picture right there in the dictionary.
Argus, why don't you, use your stick to try and prod at it and, make sure that the boards are safe for us to get across with.
Argus is going to like army crawl up to the bridge, make sure he doesn't get anywhere close to falling off, and poke it with his stick.
The plank immediately breaks.
Nope, 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 nope. Another way across.
Maybe? We just need to look around, I think.
Jet's gonna look around.
Okay. You go ahead and actually roll a. Let me check, since it has been a little bit since we've done this. Go ahead and roll for an insight survival alert, please. All right. Argus, Jet, you don't notice anything, even with your superior puppy senses. Argus, you notice, you hear very faintly the flapping of wings somewhere in the dark chasm below. Otherwise, though, nobody really sees any way across. This chasm is not natural. It looks like it split the building almost in two. And this rope bridge was probably the best somebody could do in a short period of time to get something across. You realize as you're looking at it that it has the edgings of like frayed vines, giving to light that maybe some kind of a plant type, grass type rather, has been able to utilize their powers to create the bridge.
If only there was some grass type that could, use their abilities to help us out, but you seem to be...
I hear flying things down there, but I ain't gonna go look.
Okay.
Jet is going to carefully go up to it and look down into the chasm.
Okay. As Jet looks down into the chasm, they notice movement, but it's not a single solitary movement, like as if one thing was moving from one place to another. It's a great mini movements. It kind of reminds you of like a colony of maggots in a way.
How far is the chasm?
It's right in front of you.
Well, I mean how long across? How far across?
It's a good question. I'd say it's probably about 200, 300 feet altogether.
That is much farther than a rope. My idea will not work.
And thank you for the follow, Mickey Floof. Much appreciated.
Hey, Jolene, could you maybe go look down into and see what's down there? Maybe just be careful. But maybe whatever's down there could help us.
Well, darling, it's sure worth a shot. Jolene's gonna start floating down. Slowly but surely. Carefully.
You begin to hear whispers. What's that thing doing here? I don't like it. Maybe we should get it? Yes. You begin to hear a little bit of like a roaring chuckle echo through the wave of flapping bodies.
Can I see what the flapping buddies look like?
It's a bit dark, but go ahead and roll for me an insight survival alert.
Okay.
They look almost like bats. Like a great mini bats with large, wide mouths. But they appear almost eyeless.
The cave herpes.
Jolene is
Zim.
gonna.
The Zim? Sorry.
Yeah, so Jolene's gonna float back up and tell the others, darlings, there's a bunch of what look like bats down there, and a few of them, were talking about getting me. I don't quite appreciate that.
Maybe we shouldn't ask them for help.
But how can we get across then?
Are the ropes, the vines still sturdy-ish?
They look relatively sturdy. I mean, they're still holding up the bridge.
Then
They're kind of yellowed, but if you give one of them a tug, it holds.
We could try crawling across this.
How wide
I have an
across-
idea.
How wide across is the bridge?
About 200, 300 feet.
No, I mean like the walking.
Oh,
space.
it's enough that you could each double up in a pair. So like you'd be shoulder to shoulder, but you could double up in pairs to go across.
Dang, my idea wouldn't work then.
I have an idea. Can we take the rope and tie it around my belly, and then tie a loop over the vines, like a safety harness, and then
How
we
many
can
do-
crawl across safely?
You could try. Depends
How
on
many-
how well your knots are.
Sorry.
Oh no!
Well, you could absolutely give that a shot, though I'm not sure how well most of us could tie a knot.
I look at
Amos
my paws.
holds up his
I am-
paws.
I hold up my claws. I am the chosen one. Only I can get us through this.
You have tiny claws and arms.
I
Maybe
can tie knots.
Can you reach them together?
I try to reach my hands together.
You can kind of click-clack them at the very edge, tip of your claws.
I can do the evil maniac laugh with the little clipping the fingers together. Yes.
I miss.
Not enough ale?
Zoroark 720 gave the party a reroll.
We might need that if we're gonna try to cross this.
Hey, Jolene, can you see what's on the other side? And see if there might be anything useful on the other side. Don't think we got much here.
Well, I very well can try. I don't know if I'll find anything, but I'll tell you what I find if I do. And Jolene's going to start floating across.
Okay, can you tell me exactly where you're floating?
Right above the bridge, just like using the bridge as a path.
Okay. When you're about halfway across, you hear a great chittering cry. And suddenly you see shapes begin to dart out from the roiling mass below. Until you're surrounded by about 4 or 5 of the bat-like creatures.
Jolene is going to put a hand to where her heart might be in that oh gosh, you scared me kind of pose. She'd be like, oh dear. Scare poor girl, why don't you?
A hand over your oranberry.
Yeah, there we go. What do we have here? Descending over into our territory. Oh, it looks like something that floats. Don't you know? You gotta pay the fine.
Jolene is going to look at each one and be like, well, I got a berry. You want a berry?
That be enough to feed a whole million of us?
I don't know that I have enough to feed a million of you. Even if I go back and start getting everything that's in the town.
Then I guess you don't have enough to pay it. Guess you'll just have to give something a little bit more then. Yes, something a little bit more, a little bit more.
Jolene's gonna look back towards the group where the group is, kind of shrug and be like, "Do any of y'all know what I can give these? You said 4?
Oh, 4 or 5, yeah.
4 or 5. Okay. These 5 lovely folks.
I have a gold coin, and a meteorite, and a glass bubble with snow in it, and a potion. And it's just like digging through his bag, holding each one up as he's saying them.
I don't think any of you really understand your position. We want you.
Oh, we're kind of taken right now.
I bet. And the creatures attack Jolene. Go ahead and roll for initiative.
Okay, my initiative is what, 2?
Okay.
Yeah.
And all the bats are going to be on 1 initiative. Now I got to go find them.
So 1 die plus 2, so let's hope I get a big roll.
Would you like to promote me, Rygon, so I can set up the initiative for you?
Sure thing. Thank you.
That's an 8 for my initiative. 6 plus 2. That's the big roll that I just asked for.
Please. Or fly! Fly away!
All this was just a trap.
Trap!
Couldn't even help her. It's nothing long distance we have.
If I could get this working, I feel like I might be able to send something over there.
Or really loud.
Loud could work.
I could try to make them fear me, but I feel like
Oh,
yours two
jeez,
might be
what
the
is
better.
going on right now?
What is the what?
I just keep seeing 0% pop up next to everybody.
Oh, that's because I am loading up the decks so I can find the enemy.
Ah.
Ooh, I have a 9.
Hmm.
Alright, so I have 10. Amos, what's your initiative?
How do I get that again?
You roll 1 die and add your initiative modifier.
Okay.
We all rolled pretty high. Oh, the DM rolled high too.
Yes, I did.
Look
Yes.
at this.
And how was initiative determined again? Was it
Whoever has the
special?
higher initiatives
I believe it is
bonus.
Dex plus...
Dex survival alert. if
Dex
I'm
survival
correct.
alert? Okay. I'm gonna
That's what I
put
have.
their
Can-
put 1 alert.
So what is yours, Amos?
The Zubats all rolled 8.
I rolled. Looks like 5,
And your initiative
5
bonus is 8,
plus-
so 8.
3.
So
8
8.
as well.
So 8. Yeah.
I rolled 8 as well.
Yeah.
I rolled a 9.
Okay. Anybody who rolled equally, just go ahead and roll again. See who gets the higher roll.
Jolene, what did you get?
And 8. Because. So.
Okay, Zubats, go ahead.
Oh. That's. I got
Um,
an 8 again.
Well, it's not necessarily that you add your initiative. This is just to determine who goes first. And since we all rolled 8s,
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Uh.
Jolene tied with the Zubats again.
yep. So we'll just roll again. See who gets higher. Zubats rolled a 3.
Oh.
Come on, Jolene.
Oh.
Aw.
No, the 1 and 6.
Okay,
All right.
so...
So it will be Bats, Jolene, and then Azurdeyu.
It's
Where's
Azure.
Amos in there?
Amos was in there too. How many people rolled 8s?
4?
A lot.
Well, I don't remember where Amos was in the lineup.
He
Oh,
has the
Amos
same-
rolled 4, Azareth rolled 5, so Azareth will go before Amos.
Okay.
Alright. Initiative tracker is updated.
Okay, so Jet's going first.
Yes.
All right. I will go ahead and I will get out some pawns.
Ooh. Are they Zubat puns?
No, because I haven't found that bag yet. So we're just going to use the horsey.
And the battlefield is a rickety bridge.
Yep. And you all are about back here. So let's just assume about one of these horsies equals about 1 square. So if you want to be able to move up, you gotta roll, or you gotta move about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You gotta roll about 5 on your movement speed.
Roll for movement speed. Interesting.
Or not roll, but you gotta move 5 spaces.
On a rickety bridge.
Yeah.
Rickety bridge. Let's be honest, I was hoping more of you would go across, but this is how it is. Bye, Jolene. I will miss you.
Hmm.
Tiberian, we don't have a map.
We use theater of the mind.
This is the most that you get. This is the most that we have.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm a bit too busy to just make maps for every single encounter, especially on the spot encounters. So I saved the map making for very important areas.
Like the river.
Yeah, like going through the river in your first phase, or
The town.
things like that. Yeah, the
Starlight.
town, your hub.
Anyways,
Yes.
Jet is going to try and use Charge Stone. Hopefully I succeed.
You think it can hit from that far away?
I think it would be able to.
All right, you succeed. That should be your third success, so you don't have to
That
roll for it
is.
anymore.
Hooray! Alright, Dexterity Fight Channel. He just grabs one of the rocks next to the bridge, charges it with that inner energy he discovered, and sends it flying at the nearest Zubat.
Okay. The Zubat is going to try and evade. Let me see if I can remember how evade works.
Yeah, this system does not actually have anything in the way of, you know, movement range, movement speed. It doesn't have range on abilities. It's just, this is melee or this is ranged.
They
Yeah.
expect you to just.
Which is one of
do
the
a straight
reasons
up
why
jump.
I'm okay not having maps.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, I would have to like say, like, yeah, no, that's a bit
You've
far. You
thought
can't hit a
this
thing a
through.
mile away.
Jeff Roshak has unlocked a memory.
Oh.
Oh, okay. For who? For
It,
Jet?
you never told me that you wanted it to specify someone.
Actually, yeah.
So-
I'll go ahead. I'll keep that one in my back pocket until I'm ready.
Just make sure it's
Oh.
this session, please, or else I'll refund it.
What?
I just let's
No,
make
I
sure
heard
it's
you.
this. Oh, okay.
I heard you.
All right. So did
All right.
Jet
So
hit?
what was evade again? If anybody can remember.
Dexterity.
Don't we just
Uh,
have an evasion thing?
That's
It's
added to your.
Calculated
Dexterity,
by
survival,
dexterity.
evasion?
No,
Dexterity,
it's
survival,
dexterity
evasion.
fight evasion.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Uh,
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's
My
see.
bad.
Let's see. These Zubat. They got one in there. And I'll say they probably have one in evasion. All right, he evades the shot. Trying to hit me from all the way over there, are you? Better luck next time.
Well, that's all I can do. So on to Argus.
Argus is gonna run up to the edge of the bridge and like his little claws all bunched up into fists and shout at the top of his lungs, "Get away from Jolene!" and roar.
All right, go ahead and make a roll. Unfortunately, the bat creatures are a little bit too busy. Like they're too preoccupied to listen. They're more kind of just like teasing Jolene, like kind of tugging a little bit here, tugging a little bit there. And your squeak, unfortunately, isn't really heard over the murmur of the flying shapes down below.
Oh, you figure this thing out. Jolene, I'm sorry. Why'd you
Jolene's-
name the Zubat Cave Herpes?
That's like
Because-
same thing.
They're pretty much the same thing.
They're Zubat.
Zubat!
Adorable
They're
little
cave
poison bat.
herpes.
Adorable little poison bats. They need love too.
Anyway.
Alrighty, so they, since they all get to go, they're gonna toss one of them's gonna toss a leech life at you. Yeah, we'll just do them one at a time. Can I get the move leech life, please, somewhere?
Yeah.
It's a bug type.
A miss! Not enough ale!
Jakarosha gave the party a reroll.
Here it is.
Oh, we have 2 rerolls now.
Yeah, we have 2 rerolls now.
Very nice.
Oh, which reminds me, Zim could have used.
I could have used it too. We both could have used it.
Dexterity fight brawl. Alright. So they roll a 3 because they don't have any brawl. Oof!
Nice.
That's a fail. Alright. One of them uses supersonic on Jet. So let me look up supersonic. That's a normal type.
Aren't I immune to normal type?
No.
It's a status
Oh
move.
yes.
It's a status
Think-
move.
Do you think they know
This
that?
isn't. This isn't Gen
Oh.
1.
Well, no, I don't
Oh,
think
sure.
they know that, but I am actually curious. Am I immune to that?
No.
No?
It is.
You're immune to normal type physical moves. Only in Gen 1 are you immune to normal type status moves.
Ah.
Abnormal. Ooh, that
But-
accuracy.
But Azurith is immune to supersonic.
Okay, they got tough fight channel. Let's see how. Oh, they don't have any toughness. Let's see. Tough would be the toughness and all that is equal to at least 1, right?
Toughness is at least 1 in everyone.
Yeah. So they got like a strength 2. I'll say they have a toughness of 1. So that equals 2. They roll a 1. What would you like to do, Jet?
I don't think this is something that I can evade or anything. I think it's just to succeed or fail based on the move.
You can try to dodge
Yeah,
it.
you can try to clash it or evade it.
No, you cannot clash a status move.
Well, you can try to evade it.
Alright.
Yeah, you only need to roll like what? A 2?
You
Oof.
rolled a 2. 2 2s, but not...
Not
Two
the right
successes.
2s.
All right, so you have become confused. The waves of the sonic kind of like wash over you, and you kind of find yourself feeling a little ill now, and everything seems to kind of get a little shaky.
Nausea debuff from Skyrim. No, Minecraft.
There should be a status effect around here somewhere that you can put on yourself.
Yep, I know where it is.
Thank you.
I'll put it on top of his character.
Your character is now just confused.
My god, you're right. The game does say that I'm immune to supersonic. Okay.
All right, and 2 of the other bats kind of just sort of split off. And they kind of orient themselves above the bridge a little bit, just kind of flapping there, just kind of grinning at you all and just going, hee. Go ahead, try. Make yourself across this little bridge. I bet you can't. And the bats will end their turn.
The one that tried to leech life me is about to get the attempted of a tackle. God dang it! Every time I go by the numbers on my stuff, I accidentally manage to click and type something. That's getting very irritating. Still have to roll for my tackle. I think I've used it once before.
Yep.
So I need to see if I can even do it. Yeah.
You succeed.
So, dexterity, fight. So that is 3 dice. So 1, 2, 3 for accuracy.
All right, that's a 1. And the
Yeah.
bat will try to evade. Whoops. We'll ignore the last roll. Let's see. That's only 1 success to your success. So I can't remember. In the event of a tie, does attacker or defender win?
In a, what?
In an evade.
Defender.
Typically,
Defender? Okay. Defender has managed to evade.
It's the rule of meets it, beats it.
Yep, unfortunately. Yeah. Jolene just goes for a tackle on it, saying, "That's quite rude, you little pest."
The bat kind of just go. No, good.
And manages just to like fling herself at it, but I assume the bat just like flies away from her because she's not as nimble as a bat.
Yep. They kind of just like slides to the side and gives Jolene a little bit of a lick and just like, you're a tasty one.
I believe that is all I can do.
Okay.
It would be my turn then. Azurath will growl seeing these cave herpies do what they're doing. Like, oh, you are sick little bastards. You don't know what we're doing here. And you don't know who you're messing with. So back off. And he's gonna get a raid from Oneko Taiego.
Wait, what?
Hi, Oneko and viewers. How's it going? You have come in at the right time for a a battle and such. So we're doing combat. Yay! Welcome on in, everyone. I am Arzadeyu and such, and I am an Astral Dragon who streams plenty of games. I'm currently streaming Pokerole Mystery Dungeon, Starlight Expedition, and streaming alongside a couple other people. But make sure to go check out Oneko, because Oneko is fun. And I have other streamers as well. Okay, that's as much as screen time as I can take for promoting myself. After that, Azureth will go and use Leer.
Okay. Leer the heck out of him.
Alright, and I believe I already succeeded on all my rolls for Leer, so I just need to roll for it. Am I right, or am I wrong?
I'm trying to remember.
So
you tell
technically,
me-
we don't even know who they're messing with.
Let's see. I think you succeeded Leer at least twice with the scorpions, right?
Yes.
Did you use it at any other point, or did you use all 3 of the scorpions?
I use it through the scorpions and such. I try to use tackle during the charizard fight, so...
Let's assume you have 1 more Leer you gotta succeed with.
Fair enough. I will do that. Come on. Screw the curse of twos!
Nope.
Can
You
I
glare-
use the?
Go ahead.
No, I should save it for a damaging move, but I do want to.
Well, you can do a reroll, and just remember, just because a move does not necessarily damage does not mean it can't have interesting effects.
That's
Like
kinda
scaring
weird.
scorpions under a rock.
Yes, I want to scare them. This is the party for to decide if I'm allowed to use it.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, we've got 2 of them, so I don't think it's a problem if you use one of them.
Just don't get another 2.
There's a 1 in 6 chance for that. Amos and Zim.
It's you. It's more like a 1 in 3 chance. Or a 1 in 2 chance.
Do we have an agreement from everybody that this is
Go ahead.
what the party wants to use?
I
Mhm.
agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
You succeed.
Yay. Alright.
All right, and that move is unlocked for you now.
Yay. Tough contest, intimidate. 1, 2. Only 2 dice for it though. Ah.
Okay. And obviously the bat will try to evade. If it can.
I don't know. Can. It probably can.
I mean, that's kind of what they're built for. They do not.
Ooh. So,
All right, go ahead and describe it to me, please.
Azurus walks in between Argus and Jet, and he has this angry look on his face. Very angry. Glaring at them before he brings his head back a bit and uses Leer with the glint in his eyes beaming straight at their eyeless faces. And the sheer will of the dragon pierces them. That is the most anime I've explained it. Okay. He says, "Get away from her." Oh,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
if you see her as a
Ryan, are you
male.
there?
Wait, did Raygon disconnect? Oh.
I think
we
you
might
made
have lost
Raygon
Raygon.
disappear.
Oh.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah, his stream is loaded. Oops.
I am back. Can you hear me?
I can hear
Yes.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay, the lobby did disconnect, unfortunately.
So
We must have just
the
had an
Leer was
internet
so
bump.
the Leer was so powerful it hit the GM.
you. I'm sorry, but I was trying to make a scene.
No, you're good. Autosave saved us, so we don't have to reset everything.
Yay.
The room's back up if anyone wants to join.
It is not coming up for me yet.
Who are
Yeah.
you?
Okay, I will
my
send
God.
invites out.
Ah, there it is. Alright.
I
Oh.
got an invite, but the invite didn't work.
Go through.
Didn't go through
Yeah.
for anybody?
No.
Yeah.
It says I was invited to play, but it doesn't give me the option to join.
Yeah.
All right, let me just restart the whole game then.
Yeah. My
Technical
goodness.
difficulties.
Water break,
Yep.
everyone?
This is what
Yeah,
happens when you
you-
leer so hard the bats see your leer.
Well, it shouldn't
the
shouldn't
blind
take
bat
that
on my
long to
water.
get us going.
The blind bat see. a menacing dragon. Besides, I'm pretty sure we'll have some roasted bats tonight.
Or they'll have some roasted Pokemons. Okay, now I can join.
Okay, yeah, just a quick restart did it.
Must learn to hunt.
Right.
Alright, 1, 2, 3, there's that.
Okay, I
Braga,
think
do you
we're
want me
just
to,
waiting for else. What's up?
do you want me to go and explain how I was describing it again, or...
No, you're good.
Okay.
So this is, I was taking a look at the move. It is a group hit, I believe, because it says all.
Yep, all in
So
range.
all of them lose 1 defense, and the bats all kind of just like squeak that even though they can't really see the leer, they can feel the intensity upon their bodies, almost like a bad sunburn. And they all kind of like cringe away, just going. Alrighty, I believe that leaves where animal, which will go as soon as they are able to pop back in.
What if he took the water break?
Oh, he might
Wernimal,
have.
you
Well,
there?
They're muted and deafened.
oh,
Okay.
okay. How about we
Probably
all
water
go
break.
ahead and grab ourselves some waters then while we're waiting. Maybe give me a chance to look at my books and just be like, yes, yes. Set the bridge on fire, yes. Wait, no, I didn't say that out loud, did I?
Hey, what?
Nothing. Anyway, I'll be right back.
Oh, no. I'll also be right back then.
I'll try Stream Raiders again.
Yeah, I'm back.
Welcome back. I have Stream Raiders.
Okay.
No place troops. Yay. Squee. Something. I don't know. It's too quiet.
Quiet. And you all can take a moment to talk with your chat while we're waiting. If
Fine.
there's anything that they need. This is Pokerole, Plumage. It is essentially Pokemon, but D&D. Lots of imagination. Pretend the horses are bats. That's because I keep forgetting to actually go and get the Pokemon models.
Do you want me to go grab models? Oh, wait, I can't
Sure,
do
if
that
you
right
want
now.
to. I'll even promote you.
Pokermans.
Pokemon's gotta catch 'em all.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the little details that I keep forgetting about. But yeah, you're more than welcome to kind of hang out, stick around. Our team here is getting close to finishing up a segment of their journey, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they interact with the next part.
Alright, Gen 1.
Welcome back.
Hi, we're almost here. No, it's gonna take a while to load. Remind me that stuff from the PTU models tend to take a while to load, which is not the best.
Yeah, that's why I keep forgetting to do them, because I'm like, oh, I shouldn't do that right in the middle because it'll take a while to load.
Hey, look, it loaded.
Yay. The number that you're looking for is 41.
Number 41, thank you. I'll see how they're located. Yes, hopefully by dex number, so I can search 41, or I just type in Zubat.
Yeah. And you all said you wanted more combat, so here's your combat. There we go.
Yeah, it's very slow. It's fine, combat's fun.
Well, depends on how this combat goes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to lead these horses?
No, I'll keep them off to the side in case I need them.
We have bats!
Bats. Oh.
Nope, we're just waiting for everybody to come back from water break, and then we'll get going.
I'm ready to go. I think the only one we're waiting on is Wernimal.
I'm
Well,
Wernimal's
here.
here.
they're here. We were waiting on you
Why were you waiting on me?
because you didn't say you were back.
I never left.
Oh, I thought you did. So sneaky, Zim. You're like the Flash. You're there and then you're back. Pew pew.
He's a sneaky Martin.
I'm always
Oh.
listening.
Oh no. Even
Always
when I
here.
said that.
Oregon, he's gonna learn about what happens
Always
in the
here.
vault closet.
Oh no. Alrighty, everybody here then? Shout out if you're not.
Here.
Alright, great. So the next one on the list is Amos. Amos, what do you do?
I think I'm gonna try to move closer.
Okay. Now I can't remember
little
what
far.
we had agreed. Was the movement based upon dexterity, initiative, or evasion?
Should be. I don't think we discussed it, but in my opinion, it should be based off of dexterity. And the books also says that your speed slightly increases if you have a point in athletic.
Okay. So we could say and this is just because this is a bit far. What I will allow you to do for now is it will be your dexterity will be your base speed, and then you may roll one die to add to it.
Interesting.
And this is just to get it moving forward. So the
Alright.
the two Zubats are about 4 spaces away each.
Alright, so I got 2 in Dex and then roll. I got a 2.
All right, so you can move 4 spaces then, which means you could actually end up underneath them since they are flying above the ground.
Alright, I will do that. Do I still have the ability to do an attack?
What does the group think? Should there be a -2 to this? Or should we allow movement to be a freebie?
It should be free action, like.
Yeah,
Sorry.
movement, action, and evasion all should really be separate.
All right, then what I
No
will allow
penalties
is
for
this.
those.
Movement will be allowed unless you are, like, say, doing something like a sprint where you're moving very far, like rolling 2 dice in order to move as far as you can.
Dashing.
Yeah, like dashing. So
I
I
don't
will
know.
allow...
I'm
ahead.
still confused on why we're rolling to see if we can move.
Mostly because otherwise he'd only move 2 spaces. And that would slow the game down. So this is my way of doing it so we can speed the game up, and then we can figure out a better system later.
Fair point.
For example,
All right.
I would only be able to move 1 space.
Exactly. And I don't think that's really like, oh, yay, we get to move 1 space at a time. Oop-a-doop-a-doo, that's awesome.
Amos is gonna try and jump up and try to bite at one of the bats above him.
All right. Go ahead and give it a go.
Let me see what this
Seems
one.
very dangerous, honestly.
Alright, Dex, fight, brawl.
Ooh, very nice. All right. And the bat will obviously try to evade. That's pretty much the only thing they're good at. Oh, he manages to evade. And he gives you a little lick on the cheek.
Are they evading with style?
Oh, very much so. Like, that's pretty much all this enemy is. That's how best to say it. They've got 2 decks, and they use their, like, 1 point just at evasion. That's it.
Fine.
So they don't really have anything else. Alrighty, so go ahead and describe your attempt to nip at the bat.
Yeah, so Amos jumps up on his hind legs and tries to jump up, kind of clawing at and trying to grab it with his teeth, but comes a little short. The bat flies out of his range.
Yep.
And then
And
Amos just kind of grumbles a bit, not being able to get it.
Alrighty. That is the end of the round. We cycle back over to Jet.
Oh no, now are we missing him?
Uh-oh. Zim?
So, the confusion thing. I guess I roll insight to resist.
I think so. Where is the confusion bit here? Also, I have managed to penalty. If the action fails, her dice pool is reduced to 0. Inflict 1 point damage to the subject. Rolls inside instead taking an action after adding up the 5 successes. The status is removed. Okay, so I think you do roll to resist, and you have to succeed at least 5 times, and I'm going to say it's a cumulative succeed.
Well, yeah, that's how it's designed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it for my turn.
Okay.
I'm literally
That's
stuck
it?
doing this for at least 5 turns.
Oof.
Oof.
Yeah.
Argus is going to, try to cross the bridge, a claw on the rope, and a foot on the bottom thing to keep himself steady. Basically clinging to the side.
Okay.
The movement was. What was movement?
Your dexterity is going to be your base movement, and then roll 1 die to determine if you move any further. So, like, you can move at least at a minimum of 1 more space.
7!
You can move 7 times.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could be under the bat. That's attacking Jolene.
Yes, you can.
I'm here, Jolene. I'm here. And as I'm clinging to, like, keeping one hand on the little railing, one foot on the other one, I'm barely touching the planks. I'm more clinging to the vines. I pull out my stick and try to stab at the bat.
Okay. Is that an official attack, or are you doing a strike?
What's the difference?
A strike is just kind of like a very base attack, which is dexterity, fight, brawl, damage is strength +1. So it's like if you have nothing else, that you at least have that.
And then an actual attack is.
So strike is, in the Pokemon mystery games where you don't use a move, but you still do some damage? That's a strike.
And trying to actually attack with the stick would
Be a strike.
We don't have any stats for that.
Actually, there is a move called Branch Poke that I could argue, but
I don't know Branch Poke.
Well,
Yeah.
for the sake of this, I would go with that. It's just a strike that is thematic. Also, just a
Yeah.
second.
Okay.
Thank you to my anonymous gifter for gifting a gift sub. And thank you so much, Crandy, for gifting a tier 1 sub to Slim Devil. Both of your donations are very much appreciated, and I thank you deeply. Thank you.
Yeah, I will attempt to strike him with my super tasty stick.
All right. Dexterity, fight, brawl.
Super stick, don't fail me now.
All right. It is a 1. And the bat will, of course, try to evade.
They have so much evasion. Oh my god!
now that's a lot of evasion, boys.
He
It just
doesn't just
kinda-
evade, he just loops in the air.
He just kind of like dances around you, occasionally kind of like rushing in and almost causing you to like tip a little bit back into the chasm before you are able to regain your footing.
Every
It's like,
single
What you
time he
got?
gets-
What you got? You got none of this. These are my moves. This is my territory.
Every time he gets close, Argus just like shrivels up and whines. He is not enjoying this because he is scared of both heights and creepy flying things and mean people. This is 3 things. Also, scary Jolene.
Scary Jolene. Boy, is she scary like any other queen.
Let's see. And if anyone would like to help Jet out with their confusion as well,
I was going to do that.
Because I don't like the idea of him being locked out for 5 turns.
I mean, it could be 3 turns if I had the same stats as some of the others here, but yeah, I've
Well,
only
it
got
just
1
happened
in
to be-
insight.
Yeah, it just happened to be very effective against you. So for this one, if anyone else wants to help, you can roll your insight, and I'll allow that to be added to his pool. I'm not going to say that this is going to be a thing, but for the sake of this battle, I'll allow it. We're just coming up with so many on the house spots today.
I'll help. I have 2 insight.
All hope is not lost.
Yep, you will have to be by jet though.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of far.
All right, Argus, it is, or oh no, it's the cave herpes.
Yes.
All right, they will utilize the one right above you. Argus will use life leech. So dexterity, fight, brawl. They rolled a 1. What would you like to do?
Can I try to clash it with my tackle?
Yes, you may.
Which I need a roll
I'm
to
for bashing
attempt to use
something.
tackle.
Wosteen_oil has replaced a die for jet with a 6.
Well, thanks for that, Wostin. So my
Okay,
next roll
that
is going to
is-
be an automatic success.
Oh, very nice. Thank you to the anonymous gifter for another gift sub. Thank you so much. Man, you're just on a roll today. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. All right, let me think. So the life leech goes through, if I recall.
Because I got a 3 on my roll.
Mm-hmm. Because you failed your clash, I assumed anyway.
I think so.
All right,
So
so
he's
that
trying
will
to
be
decide or see if he could even use tackle.
Oh yeah. So I don't think you were able to use tackle since you failed.
Just say, I thought you said 3 and above last time.
Oh, was this just to use the tackle at all? Oh yeah. Then the tackle succeeds. Go ahead and try to roll for the clash.
Dexterity, fight, brawl.
I thought that's what you were rolling for, was just to use it.
Oh no.
Ooh, you succeed.
So,
Go ahead and describe it.
As he comes in for the bite, Argus goes to curl up, and as he's curling up, his head goes forward and smacks into the Zubat, stopping him from his bite. He flinches and accidentally tackle headbutts him with his massive head.
And if I recall, on a clash, both like the attacks negated, both parties take 1 damage.
Oh no.
Some.
Argus now has a bruise on his forehead.
Is that correct, Arzadeu?
Sorry, I was banning someone in chat because it's a scam and bot.
No worries. So a clash, when it's successfully clashed, the attack is negated, both parties take 1 damage, right?
Yes.
Okay. The Zubat just kind of like withers before kind of falling over the bridge and down into the pit of Zubats below.
And Argus is clutching the new bump on his head. Ow, 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 ow. I just thought of something. I can use this as a marker that I have a success on my tackle attack.
That's a good idea.
There we go.
Thank you for the follow, Crandy. Sorry I didn't say something a little bit earlier. Alrighty, so the next of the bats will try to attack you, Jolene, with also a life leech, or a leech life. So dexterity, fight, brawl. They rolled a 1. What would you like to do?
I would like to attempt to clash it with a tackle, but I will still have to roll to see if I can even do my tackle.
Okay.
So if this succeeds, that would unlock tackle for me as well. So let's hope. Nope.
Ooh. Would you like to attempt to strike?
If that's allowed, then yeah. Jesus.
That's a good question. It's not necessarily a power. Could we clash with strike? I'm gonna say yeah.
Okie dokie. Then that's dexterity, fight, and brawl. With oh, it's still 3 dice. So
It is a success. All right. So, go ahead and describe it.
So the bat goes in to bite, and Jolene just smacks at its little teeths, and manages to hit, causing both of them to get hurt.
The little bat just kind of like shrieks before it also kind of like plummets into the pit below. All right, one of the bats is going after you, Amos. It is going to try and use supersonic. So tough fight channel. They rolled a 0. They missed.
All right.
And the last bat is now seeing that both of its friends from behind it kind of like turns around and tosses a life leech over at Argus.
Another one.
Okay, they rolled a 1.
Argus is going to attempt to clash with tackle again.
Ooh, this one goes through. Or was this just to use tackle?
That was just to use it.
Oh, okay. Then you
That's-
succeeded on the tackle. Ooh.
And
very
Argus
nice.
again flinches back, his head coming forward, trying to cover it in his tiny claws that he can't do, and accidentally smacks the Zubat again, creating a lump on top of his lump on his head.
The lump on a lump.
And the
on a lump.
The Zubat kind of just like gets slammed and just kind of like shoots backward before like slamming into the chasm wall and just kind of like slowly peeling its way down the cliff.
Argus is just sitting there whimpering, trying to clutch at his head, but he can't reach it. He's got 2 little bumps on it, and he's whining.
All right.
Ow! It hurts. That's
Enough.
me.
Enough enemies have now been taken out. I get to do a special roll. If I roll a 5 or a 6, reinforcements come.
Uh-oh.
Nope, no reinforcements for this round.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's Fire Emblem all over again. Reinforcements.
I mean, there are quite a few of them down there.
Quick, Jolene, go down and sit on the spawn point.
All right, it is your turn, Julene.
Hey, our friend and Argus here is looking pretty hurt. I'm assuming after having taken 2 clashes.
He's got 2 big bumps on his head, a big one and a
Yeah.
smaller one on top.
So Jolene is going to be nice, and since he came to her aid so valiantly, is going to say, "Here you go, darling. Take this," and just popped her oranberry into his mouth. And
Just as the berry shoved in his mouth, the sweet tasting berry.
yes, sweet tasting oranberry.
+1 to sweetness.
God, that's gonna be a thing now. Everything that goes through Jolene just gets a +1 to sweetness.
Yes.
I'm gonna set this oranberry off to the side just in case we get any more later.
Sure. All right. Yeah, the oranberry is very refreshing. You can feel a little bit of strength return to you, +1 to your health.
As the topmost bump just like sucks back into the bigger bump.
Yeah.
That's a visual sight. Okay.
Yeah. Say, I don't know if you want to count that as an action or something other than a normal action, but
Yeah, that's like a normal action. So
okay.
if there's anything you can still move.
Yep. And I could move, and then I could. Well, I don't know if I could attack too, but because I did an action, but how far away is this bat here?
There's about 2
three?
spaces.
Okay. So I'm basically guaranteed I can get to it because of the die for movement, right?
Yep. Your dex is what, 2?
My dex is a 1.
So yeah, you'd be pretty much guaranteed to get it regardless what you rolled.
Okay, then I'm not going to roll the die because I just want to get right to that bat.
Okay.
So, boop, boop. Go behind it and just be like, now, darling, stop interfering with what we are trying to get done. Very, very eye twitchy, very, very angry Jolene again.
The bat just kind of goes. You think taking out 3 of my brothers and sisters is enough to stop us? We own this bridge, and I can already hear more coming.
Really? I can't.
Uh.
I'm sorry, but that was cold of Jolene.
Jolene's
So-
bad. But yeah,
Angry Jolene. Argus is now scared.
but I think that's all I can really do right now, so.
All right, your turn, Azareth.
Others will. Seeing as this is all go on, see all the bats fall down, the bat fly past him. He goes and looks at Jet, who's in a daze. It's like, Jet, 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 Jet. He pats his head gently. Jet, you right? Azareth will do his best to help
Jet is just stumbling around, shaking his head.
Jet, do me a favor and sit.
I mean, this is supersonic. I don't think he can hear anything right now.
If Jet is not sitting, Azareth will go and like take his claws and like make him hold still, and then make him try to sit.
Okay. Are you trying to help him pass his confusion?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and roll your 2 insight. One
Hey.
success. All right, so you feel a little bit better, Jet, but you're still quite dizzy. It's still quite nauseous, and it's just like, wow, why is there 3 Azareths here? All right, your turn, Amos.
I think I'm gonna try and just like wasn't able to jump up and bite the bat. I'm gonna try and roar at it in frustration.
Okay, go ahead.
unlocked drawer.
It's intimidate.
Well, it'll just be one roll just to see if you can even use it.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and re-roll. You succeed.
All right.
Yeah.
Then I roll again.
That is one success. All
All
right. The bat will try to evade. It does manage to succeed, but just barely. Your roar still kind of clipped it a little bit and shook it up. So it's kind of wobbly over there.
Amos is kind of smirks at the bat.
Alrighty, round 2 is done. We're back up to Jet.
And I've got the automatic success for that, so I'm at 3 out of 5.
Okay.
And that's it for my turn.
Okay.
Argus is going to cling to the rails once more and climb over to where the Zubat is under Jolene. And then try to smack it with his snout as a tackle.
Okay. You succeed.
He can now use tackle. Okay.
Ooh, a 2. All right, let's see if they can evade it.
Oh, they don't get any minuses for multiple evasions? Well, doesn't matter. Argus
Doesn't
has
matter.
figured out how to tackle as he uses the bottom of his snout, the harder part, and smacks the Zubat down into the chasm. He just lifts his head up and goes, eh! Like he's nodding really hard and smacks it.
So you spike him, like in Smash Bros. Got it.
Yes,
Like-
I spiked him.
Just like boing, and down he goes into the chasm.
Argus is saying, despite taking out 3 bats, he is looking up at Jolene with tears in his eyes and all freaking out. Jolene! I
Oram, when
wanna
you get
go
super
home.
squeaky like that, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
You gotta turn off noise suppression.
I don't know how to do that. He's looking up at Jolene with tears in his eyes. And being like, that was so scary. I wanna go home.
Well, darling, we gotta hurry up and get this done, and then we can go home. And
Alrighty. So the bridge itself is about 10 squares across. Halfway was about 5. So you two are about, like, Amos, Argus, and Jolene are about at the 4 spot. In Jet and Azareth, you are at the 1 spot.
Is Jet
Alright.
recovered from his confusion yet?
Not yet. Unfortunately, the game is not quite over. I have to roll for reinforcements. 5 or 6. Looks like it's a 6.
Oh no.
2 bats kind of just like wander in over from the side. And they kind of spot that the party is still on the bridge, and they're just like,
Oh, hey! What happened to the forward scouts? Oh, I guess they got taken out. Oh, maybe we should fight them. Yeah, let's fight them.
and they prepare themselves to engage.
There's more.
It's the Pegasus Knights. They've come for us. Actually, they should be Wyvern Knights.
Those don't look like Pegasuses or knights. They look like bats, and I don't like bats.
Amos this sighs, seeing 2 more coming.
Guys, come on, we need to go. We need to hurry. I don't want more bats.
Well, if you give me a moment, I gotta make sure Jet is stable enough to go across. I don't want him tumbling over. If he tumbles, he falls.
He's a ghost. He can fly.
Well, then I don't know that that's correct.
All
I
ghosts fly.
Azureth will go look at, just stare at
Ah,
Argus
what
for
are you
a
all
moment.
talking about?
Speaking of, whose turn is it currently?
It is currently Jolene's turn.
Okay. Jolene is going to look at the bats and say, "Can y'all let us save a city before you give us trouble?" And then she's going to start going towards the end of the bridge.
What was
She's
that,
try-
Jolene?
I'm going to roll the die to see how far I can go.
All right.
I can move 4 spaces, putting me at the 8 space mark, correct?
You are correct.
So
As you approach
1,
near the end of the bridge, you can see a large, heavy, metallic door at the very end. It appears like it's been cracked open.
Jolene is just going to say back to the others, "Man, that accent gets to you. Starting to use it in my normal talk." But she's going to say, There's a big heavy door over here, darlings, and it seems to already be cracked open. So hurry up and get over here." And that's all she's really gonna do.
Okay. It is your turn, Azureth.
Alrighty then. Azureth will focus on Jet and help him with his confusion state.
Okay. Go and roll 2 insight.
Aw, you son of a gun. Okay, whatever.
Well, there's still that community reroll.
I don't want to take both rerolls.
I approve.
Yeah, it would be good for Jet to be not confused right now.
You have a point. I still don't want to take both rerolls, but... How many is Jet at? 3 successes? If I get both.
What says Jet and wearing them?
I mean, it benefits me and lets me actually do something, so I'm all for it.
You could
Provided
always
you
use a community
succeed.
reroll. You could always use a community reroll for one and a will reroll for the other.
I don't want to use Will right now.
Okay.
Well,
I
the
have
community reroll is the entire thing.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Rolling.
Keeps people from playing Yahtzee with it, you know?
That's fair. All right, you got 1 success on it.
4 out of 5.
Just close your eyes and relax.
What was that? I can't hear you.
The sounds will go away the more
Wait,
quiet
why
you
are you over there? And Jet moves forward off to the side. Definitely not towards
Azureth
you.
Azureth will be like, no, 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 hold still, still. And keep his paws, or claws on his snout.
All right, Amos, it is your turn.
I think I'm gonna try and catch up to Jolene.
Okay.
Got 1, 2 dexterity, and then your dice to roll to see how far you can get. It was 1 dice to see how far you can get unless you're dashing.
Yeah, 1 dice. Okay.
Okay, then you can move 4 spaces. I'll let you move 5.
Right, just so you know, Rygon, when the dice are rolled, they're rearranged so it goes from least number to greatest number.
Oh, I see. Oh, that makes sense.
If you were at the 4 space with us, you should be able to get 1 space ahead of me because I only moved 4. I just kind of spaced them out a little farther than they probably need to be.
You're at 8. There's 2 more spaces for Amos.
Okay.
I was
Jet?
gonna go as far as Jolene because this Furry wants to catch up.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair enough. All right, Jet, it is your turn. You succeed. You know you are no longer confused.
And that's all I can do for this turn.
You sure?
Well, you
Not
can
move?
still move.
Oh, yeah, I guess we did decide it's not an action.
Yeah, dashing's an action, but not a regular move.
Alright, he'll move 2 squares then.
You're gonna roll a die?
That's not dashing. That's just
All right, you can move 3.
Okay, he'll move 3 across.
Okay. All right, so that should put you just before Argus, who's at 4.
Good, he snapped out of it.
As you come up to like a crying dinosaur with bumps on his head.
All right, Argus, your turn.
Argus is going to look at the bats and whimper. And can I do movement after I do an attack?
Sure.
Okay, he's looking at the bats and whimpering, and then he's going to roar at them, telling
All right.
them to go away.
Well, your roar is an automatic success.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, because you got all 3 successes on it, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that was my accuracy.
Oh, I see.
yeah. Doesn't
My
have very
roar
good
only has
accuracy.
1 dice.
All right, let's see how poorly the bat rolls. Yeah, no, that's not very poor at all.
and seeing that the bats don't even look phased, he's going to go down the bridge and try to catch up to his friends and go past them with 7. He is all the way across the bridge. He is gone. He's on safe land.
All right. As you reach to the other side, it's just kind of just a metallic floor. You can see the metal door in front of you cracked open, and you can feel a faint wind coming from it.
He's just waiting by the door, like all curled into himself, watching the bats. Like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I just imagine that Argus just dashed across, making Amos and Jolene spin in place as he went through.
Jolene's floating up decently high, so
The air from me going past made you spin. It evolved you into alchemy of how fast you spun.
All right.
wouldn't that be hilarious in the middle of battle? And then I just, fall.
Oh.
The bats both split up. One going to this end of the bridge, and the other going towards Jet. Both of them are going to attempt to use Leech Life. The first one is at Jolene. So Dexterity Fight Brawl. He got a 3.
I think I have 3 dice to evade or 3 dice to clash. And which do I think would be better to do? I think I'm going to attempt a tackle to
All right.
clash it. If I can succeed at actually using the move to begin with. Nope.
Nope.
That's
You can still attempt to strike, though.
Yep. It's the same amount of dice as if I did that. It's just very frustrating because I want to have tackle unlock. So 3 dice. Because no matter whether I'm evading or clashing, I have 3 dice to roll.
All right.
Oof.
Looks like he gets through.
Yep.
All right, and the damage is strength plus 1. So, looks like the damage is going to be 3.
Oh no.
And okay. Clink
All right.
damage.
Yep, the bat just kind of spits a little bit of a seed at you, just kind of, and it does embed itself in one of your like nublets. It kind of drips off of you, but not before you can feel a little bit of your strength kind of fade away.
Now, Don, that's just gross.
All right, the other is also going to use a leech life against Jet. All right, he also rolled a 3. What would you like to do, Jet?
Well, I can attempt to evade.
Okay, it manages to get through.
Very close.
It deals 0 damage. So it's just a plink damage.
Ones cannot reduce damage numbers.
Oh, so
It would
just
still
1
be
damage, which is still a plink damage. So even as you try to dodge, the seed kind of grazes the back of your fur, like on your back. And you can feel a small cut and a little bit of your strength kind of leave with the seed before the seed kind of like tumbles off the side of the bridge.
It lands on someone. And someone's like, "Oi, get your seed off me." Oh,
Why is their leech life spitting seeds? Are they supposed
Wow,
to bite?
Azareth.
realized that afterwards. I was like, "Oh no." We don't talk about it. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I gotta send you time
Hold
out
the
for that
line.
one.
This hamlet shall not fall.
Sadabda raided my stream with 10 viewers.
Seda! Hello, Seda! Thank you very much for that raid. How are you? How was your stream? Welcome back from the
Seda!
well.
Don't talk about it. Nobody talks about it. No one. No one. I'm sorry. Don't talk about it.
As you are continuing to talk about it. Just saying. Anyways, Seda, thank you so much for that raid. Welcome on in. I hope your stream was great. Welcome in, everybody. I am Rozin. We do variety gaming here. Right now, we are in the middle of our Starlight Expeditions Pokemon Mystery Dungeon tabletop campaign. We also have a lot of other tabletop games throughout the week. D&D, Pathfinder, World of Darkness, Exalted, and we also have we do other games here, such as earlier today I was doing, what was it? Astroneer, as well as Power Wash Simulator recently. But yeah, thank you again for that raid. And I'll be in the chat from here.
That one gets a confused. Sorry. Are you good, Zim?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Why?
Moon. Thank you for that $100 donation. That's really appreciated. Holy shit! Thank you. That pays for my groceries for the month.
Very nice.
Thank you so much. Yes. Holy shit. Go ahead and get in contact with Zim if you can, and you can get some sable coins for some ethereal influence. How much
Yeah,
does
just come
a
over
100
to.
get?
I do only give out half what they would get from my channel, just because but that would be, I want to say 10,000.
So say that's pretty good. Again, thank you so much, Moon. Thank you.
Yeah, Moonikins, just come over to my chat, send a message, and I can get that sent off to you.
All right. Well, definitely wasn't expecting that, but I guess we'll go ahead and we'll move on. Oh, you will need a link? Sure. I will go ahead and I'll give a shout out to Zim's channel. And we'll get you settled. There you go. Alrighty. So I believe it is
disciple.
Azarith's.
After Jolene.
I have no
Yeah.
space for any more.
Tokeme bestowed the curse of junk.
Did Jolene go this round?
Jolene, I think. Jolene, did you go?
No, I clashed the
Okay.
the Zubat.
So then I think you used your turn, didn't you? For that?
It doesn't use a turn to clash because the Zubat attacked me, and then that's why I clashed.
Yeah.
So it is going to make it very hard for me to do anything on my turn.
You can always run.
Yeah, but I do think that for my turn, I do want to attempt a tackle, even though I'll only have one die to hit with. Mostly because I want to unlock that tackle. So I will just roll the die to see if I can even do the tackle. Click. Click. Boom. Nope. The dice are not in my favor.
Turns out you're just too gooey.
Yeah.
Gotta toughen that goo up.
Need to evolve ASAP.
Toughen up those nubbles. We'll get you a punching bag.
And I think that's all I'm really able to do, because, well, I guess attack of opportunities aren't really a thing here.
Yeah, that's something we can talk about at a different
Wolf's team
point, but for now I'm going to
has
say no.
replaced a die for Jolene with a 6.
Oh, there you go. You got a success.
Oh. So if that is if you were doing that, then I have one die to roll to see if I can if my accuracy is there, because I only had 3 dice and it said a -2 for clashing. So I will see if I can. Man, my mouse is not wanting to actually get onto the clicker. There we go.
Whoa is awesome. Whoa. Whoa is like best now.
So that makes my 2 get the ability to attack a success. Now let's see if I can actually make the attack go off. Boop. Oh hey.
Yes, you do.
Now they have to roll like crap.
I'm going to say this bat's kind of tough.
Here's to
He's like, you know what? I'm gonna clash against this.
Doesn't he lose either way then?
So he's going to
Thank
use...
you very much for the follow, Mooney,
Leech Life.
as well as Thorns.
And thank you for the follow as well, Thorn. Okay, so he successfully manages to deal a clash. And as you do
have
your
a plan.
tackle,
Wolstein
he kind of just like
_ oil
goes
has
in
granted
and
disadvantage
gives you
to storyteller.
disadvantage to the storyteller. All right. I'll roll again. And it still succeeds. All right, so the bat, as you go in for the tackle, kind of comes in and just I don't know, what would a leech life look like, since apparently it's not the seed one.
It's a bite.
Yeah.
I
It just kind of gives you a little nibble.
Wostein, please read the dark gray text to make sure that a card is valid for the campaign you're trying to use it on. That card is only valid for our D&D campaigns, as it does say. I will refund it
that's
this
right.
time, but if you do it again, you'll be losing the card.
Or whoa.
Alrighty.
The owl is trying to make us succeed.
Anyway, the blow kind of blows the bat back, but not before it's able to get in a couple of nibbles on you.
Yep.
And he goes tumbling off.
That wasn't a very smart bat.
No, but it's smart. It was a smart enough move to get me down to where I'm in the danger zone.
You need to
But-
get over here.
Yep.
I have a potion I can stick inside you.
I mean, that is valid, but am I allowed to move still?
Didn't you just move? Yeah, you can still move.
Yeah, I didn't move. So I'm going to see how far I can move. Clickety clack. Don't look back. I can move 3. I'm at 8, so that puts me at the end. So
All right.
boop. Jolene's like barely held together right now. The goo is just kind of dripping off a lot more than normal. And her eyes are starting to kind of like, you know how on a cake if you put eyes and they just kind of start dripping down.
Argus is resisting the urge to open his maw under you.
Yeah. But yeah, that is all I can do.
Okay. Ezra?
My turn. I would like to run up. First, I would like to move. Alright, let's see. Ooh, that's
You can move pretty
8.
far. Yeah.
Alright, question. Can I tackle into the Zubat as I'm going across the bridge?
Yes, but then your movement would stop at the point where the tackle is. So you won't be able to go past, like, do that tackle and then continue your movement.
I can't do a little, like, dash and jump. Okay. But it's fine. I will still get the Zubat.
Okay.
I will help out Jet. And I will see to activate tackle.
Succeeds.
And now rolling for accuracy. Next fight brawl.
Ooh, 2 successes. Alright, let's see if the bat evades. Because I don't think the bat has evaded yet. Ah, a 3. Yeah, the bat just kind of just swoops over you and just kind of sticks its tongue out. Just meh.
Oh, you fancy wings.
All right, your turn, Amos.
I think I'm gonna try and roar at the bat ivy. So I'm just gonna
Okay.
try and. Oh wait, there is not by me actually. I'm a little far, but I don't know. I guess I could still try and roar at the one that's by. Uh,
I'll say it's
Okay.
just barely within reach of your roar.
yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Um.
All right.
So Amos
One.
is just gonna kind of yell, buzz off these stinking bats, and throw a nice roar its way. Let me see what I roll for that.
All right. One roll to see if it activates.
Oh yeah.
It succeeds.
All right.
All right, and just roll tough contest intimidate. Ooh, very nice. All right, and the
All right.
bat has already evaded once. It'll try to evade one more time. It just barely manages to succeed.
All right.
And it just kind of crinkles away a little bit. It's just like,
I don't like that guy. I think I'll continue playing with you two.
all right, Jet, it is your turn. Unless you would like to move, Amos.
You know what? I will. I'll. What's the roll again?
Your dexterity plus 1 die to determine extra movement. It's just 1 die. So your dexterity would be you get 2 base speed, and then 1 die would determine how much extra speed you get.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you get 3 speed.
All right. So I'm just gonna move 3 in third direction.
All right, you should be all the way over. You are, I believe, at the 8 spot.
Yep. All right.
My cat says hi.
Hello, kitty. All right, your turn, Jet.
All right, for my turn. Jet is gonna move up a bit and then launch a charge stone back at the Zubat.
Okay. That's
So
success.
8 spots for movement.
Yeah.
I have no idea how far that would be.
You're at 4.
That'll get
right
you
now.
to the end.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then the charge stone, dexterity fight channel.
Yep, it'd be a bit of a shaky shot, but I'll let you make it. All right, 2. All right, let's see if the bat is able to evade. 2, just barely. Kind of like zip zaps around your rocks.
Just like, hey, watch it! How'd you get over there so quick?
It's not my turn yet. I was out asked to if I could hit it back at the Zubat like a baseball.
Well, it is Argus's turn. What would you like to do, Argus?
Are there any rocks over here where I'm at?
Not particularly. It's a metallic floor, so there's some like crumpled up metal. There's like holes in the floor a bit, but not really rocks. You can find
Can
some
I-
powdered concrete though.
Powdered concrete.
Yep, because the floor's been split open, revealing the concrete beneath.
Oh, I was thinking bags of concrete. Okay. Can I grab like a piece of scrap metal and throw it at the Zubat?
Sure. Speaking of which, if you want to do a roll, or actually not a roll, I will also say you find. Let's see. You also find a dungeon? Yeah, no.
I find a dungeon in the dungeon.
You find a cup.
A cup! And that's going in my bag.
How many items do you have in your bag so far?
Meteorite, the snow globe, the cup, the recovery potion, and my stick. Oh, and my gold coins. My stick is in my hand because fight.
That might be 6 items right there, so I don't think you can hold anything else.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the base bag only holds 5 items, so you might have to get rid of one.
The stick stays in my main.
Oh,
You
that's
said the
right.
name was
Okay,
Pocket.
so you're at max items then.
Can I still throw a thing at him?
What would you like to throw?
The scrap metal. I put my stick down to pick up scrap metal to throw at him.
I'm trying to think. Do we? Because strike, I don't think is. I don't think you could do that from a distance.
I don't have a thing for just throwing things.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. You could roll me a strength, survival, athletic for your accuracy. All right. And the bat will try to evade. Oh, it's a hit.
Ooh,
I was going to have you just roll 1 die worth of damage, but it doesn't even matter. The piece of metal just kind of comes out of nowhere and smacks the Zubat right in the side of the head. And it just kind of goes like before falling off.
Instead of throwing it, Argus tosses it up in the air and spins using his tail as a bat.
There you go.
Get
Zubat's
over
out.
here! Get over here, Zerth! I want to go! I don't like it. I don't like these bats. There's too many bats.
All right, and I get a roll for reinforcements.
Oh no, he
That-
gets reinforcements. Oh no,
It
Doesn't
looks
it
like it
Zerth-
failed.
Wasn't that supposed to be end of the turn? Or is that end of bat turn?
And a bat turn.
Oh.
I would like to dash if possible.
Go for it.
Cool. Does anything change, or is my movement just doubled?
You get to roll 2 dice for movement.
Okay. Yeah, I'm zooming.
Zoom.
It's just a blue blur of going across the field and off the map.
He makes all of us spin and evolves Jolene.
So you're all now right in front of the big metallic door, which is open just a crack. You can feel that kind of wind coming through it. What do you all do? It's not open enough for any of you to squeeze through, except maybe Jolene. So you're gonna have to kind of pull it open a little bit.
Oh,
I'm
wait,
gonna
there's
start
bullet
tugging
open?
it open.
Okay.
I have strength. I'm gonna start trying to tug it open.
All right, well, it is Amos's turn, so they can try.
Oh yeah. Whoops.
What would you like to do, Amos?
they're muted.
Amos.
Wanimal, you are muted if you're trying to talk.
Something might be
Alrighty.
going on.
Then, Jet, it is your turn.
I don't suppose I could lick it open.
No. But you can still grasp onto the metal handle and try to tug it open if you wish. It's like one of those kind that curves downward, like a big bent pole.
Sure. He will try to do that.
All right, go ahead and roll me a strength, just a straight up strength. All right, you are able to tug it open a little bit more. Still not quite open, but it's getting there. All right, that is Argus's turn. Unless there's anything else you'd like to do, Jet.
Nah, I got nothing comes to mind.
Okay.
Argus is going to try to open the door.
All right, same thing, just a straight strength check. All right, and the door is managed to be pulled enough open that all of you can squeeze through if you want to. You can hear a great fluttering of wings from below as the Zubats seem to realize that their attempts to keep you from leaving has kind of failed, and the whole horde as a result is kind of stirring.
But before Argus goes through, he's going to shove the restoration potion inside Jolene. Just like plop it in the belly, and then dart through the door.
Like, did you open it and then do that, or did you just put it in there?
I forgot to open it. I'm rushing out the door. There's bats.
Okay.
I'm sure you could dissolve the glass or something. Can you?
No.
No.
Oh, I'm not a poison
I wonder
type.
if we could. Can we put Jolene in a bottle?
No. You'd have to get a pretty big bottle.
You have to get a large jar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we
We'll put
can open
we'll
it
put
for
the
her.
milk in a jar. In a big jug.
Big jar.
Like a milk
We
jug.
can
Anyway,
we can open it for Jolene if she can't open it herself, but we should go through the door.
yeah, I say we should probably get through the door, and Jolene would probably open the potion while she's going through.
Okay. What are you doing with the potion?
Gonna drink it.
Alrighty. You can immediately feel a sort of regenerative effect take a hold of you. If I recall correctly, this is not a health potion. This is a regenerative potion.
Yep,
So
plus
you
1 health per
heal.
turn for a minute.
Say again?
Plus 1 health per turn for a minute.
Yep. So
Sorry,
you get 1 health.
That puts me at half my health, which is 2 health.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, you can still feel the liquid of the potion kind of flowing all around the inside of your body. You got a little bit of a slight red glow to you now.
Nice. I am the strawberry milk.
Don't tempt Argus. Fear makes him hungry.
Alrighty.
I don't.
And I believe it is time for. Do we get reinforcements? Yes. Let me go ahead and roll to see how many come up. Just to see if anybody's brave enough to stick around. 6 come up. So they kind of come fluttering in. Let's see. Copy. And they see that you are all at the door, and they just give a loud squeak, just like, "Hey, the prey's escaping, guys! Oh shit! What?"
Hey, I'm not
And
food!
and they all just kind of start swooping over at you. So, Jolene, you just taken the potion. What else are you doing?
Going right through the door.
All right, you're right through the door. Azareth?
I would like to go through the door as well. And when Amos comes through, I would like to close it.
Okay.
Oh.
And
Say, did Jet and Argus actually get through the door?
I got through.
No, he's jet through.
I don't think Jet was able to go through on his turn.
okay.
Because he didn't quite get it open enough. At least from what I understood.
Yeah, you weren't able to open it all the way. That's right. So you're
Jet
not
needs
through
to
the
go
door
through
yet.
first.
Yeah. So not closing
Where
the
Animal,
door
are you
before-
back? I thought I heard him. Okay.
All right. And it is your turn, Jet.
Well, Jet's gonna go through.
Okay. Would you like to do anything? Let's assume Amos has gone through as well.
In that case, he's gonna help pull the door shut. Or at least
Alrighty,
attempt
go
to.
ahead and roll a straight strength check.
Is it possible if I can assist in that? Since I said I was going to do that.
No need. It's pulled shut. It's only cumulative 2 success.
Yep,
Jet,
the big
Jet,
thing.
electrify the door! Electrify the door!
What?
So the bats can't get through!
Sure, Jet'll try that.
All right, yeah, go for it. Go ahead and give me an attack against the door then.
Well, he's attempting his nuzzle, because I think that's too many.
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay, never mind.
You managed to poof your fur out a little bit. But anyway, it doesn't seem like there was any need for it as you just kind of hear like dull thuds on the other side of the door. Just
Not very smart bats.
It would have been fun to hear them squee from the electricity, but...
And thus the fight ends. You all have made it past the bridge.
As I open the door and grab a bat to put in my bag.
If you really want to do that, roll me some strength.
Nope, nope, nope. Argus thinks about it for a minute, and then remembers he's afraid of bats, and turns away and walks the opposite direction.
Azurith was staring at Argus, ready to bite his tail if he tried to push that door open.
Alrighty. Let's see. We're at 11:30, so in about 30 more minutes, we'll take a quick break. Let me think. I need to open up my notes. I actually forgot to do
Well, I
that.
mean, if we're gonna take a break, we should probably do so now, because we've only got an hour and a half left.
That's kind of what I was
Unless we
thinking.
want to go
Let's
later.
go. I
So the
don't mind.
chasm was supposed to be a bunch of caves. And we were supposed to follow the color. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm good without a break, but, you know.
It's up to everybody. If we were going to take a break, we'll just take a quick 5-10 minute break, enough for everybody to get, water, drink, walk around, whatever you need.
Yeah.
Then we'll continue.
I need to try and use the bathroom real quick, so
Alright.
a break
Alright.
would be good.
Let's
Okay.
try to keep it to about 5 minutes, everyone. But we'll go ahead and take a break now.
I'll be right back.
How chat doing? Chat doing alright.
Chat seems to be doing just fine.
Chat seems to be enjoying themselves, I'm sure of it.
I like how the scared dinosaur beat most of the bats while being scared of them.
I
Oh,
like
it
how
helps.
scared the dinosaur thought of trying to grab a bat after door was closed.
They all kept thunking on his head. He hardly attacked, they just thunked on him. He is made of rock.
You are rock. Rock and stone.
Rock hard determination to never run into bats again.
Little one, you can never escape the cave herpes.
Oh, but you see, I am an intelligent dinosaur. I will invent repel.
But I don't think we would want to be around you.
Repel only works on things that are a lower
None shall
level.
see me. Though my battle cry may give me away.
I love that one. Yes, that is exactly what it will be.
Aggressively
shall-
partying, says Sita. Sorry,
None
That
shall
is
see me.
Seda.
Sita, I'm sorry.
Seda. That's how you pronounce it. You have to do it like the Sega logo, but it's Seda. The Seda logo. It's the only way to properly pronounce it.
Alrighty, let's take a look here. What are my notes looking like? Does anyone remember at the end of the story if we had something?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Caves follow the one that was purple, because that's where they kept the princess.
Alright, so we had some caves then. Alright.
Yeah, we just dealt with the dragon. And the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And the potato.
So much
Oh,
wisdom the druid has. It's like she could see the future.
Or,
Oh.
you know, she's probably the one who made the bridge.
She could see the future. She learned future sight somehow.
I mean, that's the only possible situation since I don't think Lilligant can learn Vine Whip. Can it?
This is druid.
We do have influence, so I'm sending that to you, Rygon.
Alright. Yeah, I think I can say something like that. The toast.
Host.
I have to do something. It's too quiet.
I hear ya, I hear ya.
So how is everyone's week?
I'm alive.
And the week's been going good. I was sick for part of it, so I guess I got a little bit of a, well, I'm not going to say mini vacation, but I got a little bit of a break from the whole transition.
Nice, nice. You know what? I got something fun to do.
What's up?
Greetings all.
What was that?
May I tell you a story?
Alright, what you got?
A story of how 5 adventurers ran across a rickety old bridge with swarmed with maggots below. One false move and they would have tumbled off to become someone's meal. Okay, that someone's like 50,000 of them, but the point gets across.
I don't get it.
Of course you wouldn't understand, little one.
Little one? I'm bigger than you.
Who says I am smaller than you?
The height chart?
Who says I am a jangmo-o now? Maybe I'm
Slitherite.
something more.
We're still going. We're just on a small break. Speaking of, Jolene, are you back?
Long restroom break. Maybe they had to go find a bakery.
Maybe they wanted more sweets. Or maybe they were getting more milk.
Who knows?
And cookies.
No, we still haven't gotten past Halloween. No Christmas references. So then I'll go ahead and I'll ask all of you, what did you think of that encounter? Yeah, you all kept saying you wanted more combat.
Said anything. But I did enjoy it. I'm realizing I am the tank of the group. And being the tank when I'm scared of everything is going to be interesting.
I literally didn't do anything the whole combat.
That was honestly just straight up bad luck. The confuse I didn't think was going to impact you quite that much, so
it was that, and then the only 2 attacks that I did get to try failed, so just kind of was there for the combat.
that is fair. Yeah, the trick to defeating the Zubats was actually just the clashing. Because it dealt that pretty much that 1 guaranteed damage against him.
Well, I can't clash against a supersonic.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Oh, hey! Thank you for the bits, Crandy. Oh, you targeted, or you did Chocolate Rain! Chocolate Rain!
Chocolate.
Thank you so much for the bits. I appreciate it. Yeah, honestly, that was just a bit of an unfortunate. The idea for the encounter was that the Zubats were going to have a little bit more evasion in order to help give the emphasis on clash. But at the same time, their health was reduced. So instead of 3 health, they only had 1.
Okay.
So if you guys did manage to get that hit in, it was a guaranteed kill.
Yep. There's only so many times you can clash with such low health, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was the challenge. So you clash, or you can all attack in tandem and slowly wear them down with the move actions.
Or get lucky by throwing metal.
So my
Just-
defense down was technically useless.
Technically. But it still helped you to unlock it.
Fear me.
Also,
What if I don't fear you?
Fear me.
I
Um,
have
yeah, go ahead.
realized that Jolene needs a scary face.
Yes. Can we teach her a move she could not normally learn?
Probably not. That would take something pretty special for that to happen. All right, so it looks like we got everybody back.
Yep, let's go ahead and proceed.
Alrighty then, welcome back everybody to Pokerole Starlight Expeditions. Let's go ahead and draw the dungeon tile and see what our poor party here gets. And I do believe you all have some oran berries. If you need to heal up, you should probably all start using them.
Really should be fully healed soon.
Yeah,
In a couple
say.
turns.
I'm just talking about for the party in general. I know everybody kind of got nicked a little bit, more or less.
I got more than nicked. I got a bump on my bump, and then the one bump went away, but I still have a bump.
Alrighty, the next dungeon tile. Ooh. Alrighty, you all come across an interesting little path here. As you are moving through the factory, you can see that it kind of extends out into a sort of a spider web-like crossroads. One metallic path continuing further, while another one kind of branches off a little bit. You can hear a little bit of singing coming down the alternate path. Oh, also, for Wolstein's minor influence, before you all do leave the door, and after the thumps, you do hear something akin to, "Ah, shucks! Our prey got away! They took out our way out! Don't worry about that. Sure, we could chew through the roof if we needs to. Oh, yeah. All right. Maybe we can head them off. Yeah, that sounds good."
No. The bats will return.
All right. So aside from the bats, those are your choices. And to anyone unfamiliar, the spider web-like thing I'm talking about is a catwalk, just with grills instead of steel plates. What do you all do?
Well, are there any colors here? How's the lighting in here?
The singing has something interesting to it. It sounds like it's almost coming from an instrument that is like it's not an instrument any of you quite recognize, but it does sound deep. Something that kind of brings a emotion of like ecstatic sadness to you.
Okay.
Hmm.
I asked about lighting and colors, but that's good to know.
Yeah,
You can see
the lighting
down
and
now.
colors aren't they're just the regular same dim kind of blackness and gray that you've been working through.
So it's very hard to see.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
Right now, you're kind of in the upper bowels of this place. So you're kind of crossing just beneath the roof, like on the catwalks.
Well, Jet will pull out his Discord crystal and hum at it to make it glow to give us more light. And it was purple that we needed to find, right?
Story said purple, but it also said we just had to find the color that matches. But maybe it's not a color?
I
You
mean,
can
some
see
people. Go ahead.
you can see your little crystal as you pull it out reacting to the music, as faint as it is, with very small brief flashes of blue.
That looks promising.
Yeah, if this one is blue, maybe we need to move on and find one that makes it shine purple. Anyone got another idea?
No,
No,
I don't have any ideas.
All right. And Jet is moving forward then.
Okay. Is the whole party following?
Yep.
Yes.
Alrighty. Lyndon?
Sorry, my roommate was asking me a question. What's going on?
The party is moving forward. Are you joining them?
Yes.
Okay. As you reach this crossroads, you realize that the catwalk in front of you is a bit broken. It looks a little unsteady. However, it branches off into three directions. Up ahead, you can hear something that sounds almost like, and come on down to blah, 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 that kind of tone. Over to the right, you can hear something that sounds like da 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 da. Over to the left, you can hear what sounds like a woman singing, going very deep and throaty. The colors on your crystal, Jet, are flashing between yellow, green, and purple.
Well, clearly we need to go to the purple one.
We just need to find the one that's purple and find a way across.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, how wide is the gap on the catwalk?
It's not too bad. It's literally anybody can kind of jump it. The issue is that the whole catwalk itself looks a bit unsteady, so if there's too much movement, there's a decent chance it might not hold.
So one at a time?
Yeah.
You could go first. You have the crystal that does all the light shows.
Yeah. My idea is that you take it
Hold
and
up,
go for one.
Jolene's trying to talk.
Oh.
Gonna say, Don, would you like me to float over with the crystal towards the different sounds and see which one's showing the right color?
You know, that's actually a really good idea. I was thinking I'd have to go and check each, but that would work much better. And
That's dangerous.
He hands the crystal over.
Jolene's going to take the crystal and float over towards the singing lady first.
Okay. You can see the crystal the yellows and greens kind of start to fade away a little bit, and the purple begins to become a lot more stronger and stronger.
Okay. Jolene's going to say to the others, "This one's the one where the purple is, darlings."
First try.
That's where I was gonna go because it kind of seemed like that might have been it. And Jet's gonna jump the gap.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a dexterity survival athletic.
And this is where Jet dies.
Goodbye, Jet.
Bye, Jet.
Gonna ghost the party, huh? Yep, you make it across just fine. The catwalk kind of grumbles and groans underneath you, but otherwise seems to hold.
Just gonna scramble along the path a little bit, along the catwalk, give plenty of space for others. Also, who has the rope?
I am not sure.
Don't we all have rope?
Only two of us have rope.
Yep, the 2 bags given to you at the inn have rope.
Oh, then I have the rope.
You and Amos.
Yes. Um.
Will doesn't help us much, so just go ahead and get over here, I guess.
Yeah, sorry, I'm blanking out and feel like I'm missing stuff.
I will try to follow the jet across the catwalk.
Okay, go ahead and same thing, dexterity survival athletic.
What you don't realize is I am a very dexterous dinosaur.
You're also very heavy.
You also rolled a 0.
I am very... God damn.
And thus you fall.
As you land upon the catwalk, it grumbles and groans quite a bit, and you find your foot suddenly just like crunches right through it. Go ahead and roll for me. Let's see. Roll for me a survival or a vitality survival athletic.
Vitality, survival, athletic.
Mm-hmm. You manage to evade the damage. So as your foot crunches through, the metal it manages to kind of wrench itself just right that you are able to escape with nothing more than a little scare.
Argus is just flapping his arms as if he's trying to fly to keep himself up, and barely makes it to flop on a safer part of the catwalk.
Who's next?
I don't want to do that again.
I'll go next. Azurus takes a deep breath and then goes to leap across.
All right. Dexterity, survival, athletic, please. Yeah, you make it across just fine. You're able to evade not only the initial hole, but also the hole made by Argus.
Oops.
Well, it could have been worse. Alright, Amos, you're up. And Azurus will give room for Amos.
Okay. Amos makes it across. All right. Anybody else?
I think that's all of us.
All righty. Everybody made it. What do you all do now? You're on the other side of the catwalk.
We head towards the voice.
Jet,
Okay.
you want to lead?
Yeah, Jet will lead with the crystal. That probably now has +1 sweetness.
Yep.
As you
Just,
all go ahead.
I just say it only has +1 sweetness on 2 specific spots. Because that's where the nublins were holding it.
Nubbles.
Nublins.
I love that word.
As you all as a group continue to make your way forward, you realize that the voice itself is sounding a little bit more artificial, staticky, broken. The clarity that you had heard before somehow enhanced by the broken hallways of this ancient workshop. Until you come across just a small little box that is just kind of croaking out this tune of this beautiful voice. It's placed right beside a door that you can clearly see from the little window on it leads outside. And you can hear the sound of water.
We did it.
Who placed the thingy here that makes sound?
How did the druid know about the crystal would lead us through the purple and the
I'm just gonna chalk it up to magic.
That sounds
I
about
mean,
right.
it's possible Druid had one of these themselves.
Well, let's get going. We have a town to save. And quickly.
Show open the door.
Okay. As you open up the door, you are all suddenly splashed with a burst of like water sprinkles kind of all over you.
Ah, it burns!
But
All
you're
the
an
way
electric type.
across, as far as you all can see, is a huge stretch of waterfalls. There's little bits and little paths that kind of lead to each one of them, more or less, but they all are pouring down into this great large ravine that this building apparently had been set in before something happened. And amusingly enough, or amazingly enough, each and every single one of the waterfalls appears to be holding different colors.
Made it to the colorful rainbow falls. Can I bottle some water?
Oh.
Oh, I know. I know. From grapes to wine, wine to royalty, royalty to revolution. So
Oh.
purple to red, red to what's a royal color?
Royal blue.
Royal would be purple.
Royal.
Yes.
But grapes are purple.
There is.
Not all grapes are purple.
Yeah, say there is green grapes or white grapes, as I think they're actually called.
What was it again?
Okay, from grapes to wine, wine to royalty, royalty to revolution. I think royal purple was right, or royal blue was right, because if you look on the far right one in the center, grapes to a wine color to royal blue to red for revolution.
You mean the one in the middle here?
Yeah, the middle far right.
Wine is red or white?
There's pink wine.
Sure, there's pink wine, not purple.
It's pinkish purple.
No.
Uh,
Azurus is now lost, like, okay. I'm lost now. Colors are not my thing. Especially when they're in riddles. in ways I don't understand.
Whoops.
You can all very clearly see that the morning sun has drifted over the horizon, and that's why you're able to see the great, great many varieties of rainbows that are scattered all about the various waterfalls.
That's not good. That's not good. We're running out of time. Grapes to wine. White wine, red wine, pink wine.
I don't
What's
understand
another
why.
color for revolution?
I mean, it depends on the revolution, but most often it's red.
There's only
But when it
two
comes
that, and
to royalty, purple is the only color that's really ever been associated with royalty.
royal blue.
Honestly, I'd be thinking this one. This one
I'm
just keeps
thinking
catching my eyes.
the one in the middle right, or the one, this one that my hand's on top of, if you can see it. But this one's iffy, because it's got the royal blue, it's got green grapes, pink wine, but yellow doesn't strike me as revolution. But yeah, I still think it's this one over here. The middle, right? Rawr.
Well, honestly, I got no clue.
I got no clue either, so
I have a
what's the
clue.
worst that can happen?
All right, so what do you all do?
I guess we head towards that waterfall.
Okay. Is everyone in agreement?
Yeah, we might as well just check
Chet's
one
hanging
first.
back for a moment, but he will move closer to it.
Okay. You come across a waterfall holding the colors of purple, light purple, blue, and red. The waterfall itself seems massive as your little road, your little path kind of comes up to it. And it beats down, its water spray spreading all across all of you, drenching you even at the distance that you're at. The force of the water seems very strong, and it doesn't seem like there's much in the way of markers around it.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
I don't know either.
Repeat that one more time, DM.
The waterfall itself, made out of with the colors of the rainbow of dark purple, purple, blue, and red, it seems to be very strong as it beats down upon the little path that leads up to it. It it seems like the water itself, like the water flow, is quite strong. And even at the little distance away that you all are at, you're still drenched from the sheer force of its water spray. There doesn't really appear to be any markers around it, other than the colors of its rainbow.
I guess we try to get closer, or I'll try to get closer. See if I can find. What was his name? I have it somewhere. Uh,
Dimitri?
Dimitri.
Yes, Dimitri is waiting for Ethan, and would only do a path for Ethan. I'm going to go try a different path. Azurth will say that he's gonna try a different waterfall and see what its pressure is like.
Okay. Which one do you choose?
Hmm. He's gonna try this one. The
Okay.
one, row 1, column 3.
Okay. You go up the pathway to that particular waterfall, and the force of the water seems to be a lot weaker. If anything, it's mostly a trickle, but it's trickling down a sheer rock face. There doesn't really seem to be anything else there in the way of markers or anything like that. It's just a weak trickle of water going down a rock face.
Weaker. Okay, so that's a rock face.
Are we sure this is the right puzzle here?
What do you
I
mean?
think so.
Like the right clue to the puzzle, I guess.
Yeah, I'm made it myself.
Well, I was more asking like the other players if we were certain that the grape and the wine thing was the riddle or the clue for this one, but I guess that does verify it is.
Yeah, and I would just tell you anyway. Yeah, that clue goes to this puzzle.
Okay.
I
Now, are you working on? I have to ask, because are you working off of standard colors for these things, or something that might only be a regional variant or something?
I can't answer anything about that. You've got your clue, and you've got your puzzle. Now, at this point, it's just a determination of what do you all choose to do.
Jolene is going to backtrack a bit and go to this one and
Okay.
check to see how it seems.
So, you're here.
The force of the water there seems to be fairly moderate. It's kind of comes down and sprays out in an arching sort of manner, almost tickling you with its spray. There doesn't seem to be any markers or anything around it.
Okay. I think Jolene would be brave enough to go and try and see if there's anything on the other side of the waterfall.
Okay.
And then Jolene was washed away.
You go through the waterfall and bonk your nose on the rock wall.
Well, my lack of nose, but
Well, you leave like a sugary imprint in the rock wall.
No, your face literally pushes out into a nose shape just to bump it into the wall.
Wow. Okay, that's actually kind of funny.
But yeah. Okay, Jolene will go back out and be like, "Not that one, darlings."
Well,
Yeah. Sorry.
maybe you could check the first one like that.
Definitely
Okay,
could.
I could try going behind it. I'm over by the first one.
Okay.
I'll push
I
myself.
don't know about that. Like,
The
does the
one-
path move into this other waterfall that?
Yeah, the path goes right up to the waterfall. Each of the waterfalls has a little path that goes right up to it.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
gonna walk up and push my nose into the waterfall.
Okay. You push, and the water is beating down upon you. It's fierce. It almost feels like it's trying to ground you into dust. Before you pop through the other side into a small little alcove. And inside that alcove is a little chest.
Can I open the chest?
Yes, you can.
Argus is going to open the chest. He is excited. He thinks he found it. He's going to save the day and he'll be brave.
You open the chest and you find a few scattered gold coins, numbering about 8, and a single round glowing gem.
So he now has 11 gold coins and a gem.
How full is your bag?
I lost the one potion. So I actually have room for the gem. Because I stuck the potion in
And I will
Jolene.
say, traditionally with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, money doesn't count towards backspace, so.
I'm saying it kind of does, but it's in its own like little thing.
I have 11 gold coins. I am the richest person here.
You also find within the chest a small little totem. And it looks surprisingly a lot like the Guildmaster.
So that one won't fit in my bag. But I can pull out the cup, put the cup in the chest, and take the Guildmaster totem.
Okay. When you grasp upon the gem and the totem, you feel a very familiar energy kind of flow from them and into you. It reminds you of when you had met the Guildmaster. What seems like, oh, so long ago. That same calm, soothing life.
I found it! Guys, I found it! Not that you can hear me through the waterfall, but I found it! Yeah, with them, I'll poke my head out from the waterfall. Just all joy, happy.
Okay.
I am very happy. I saved the day. I solved the riddle. I am brave now. I will never be afraid of... Oh, that's my shadow.
What do the rest of you do?
Hearing this, Jolene's gonna go over and say, "Well, good job, darling. Now we should start heading back."
Well, where's Dimitri at?
As if right on cue, you hear a small little voice off somewhere a little bit in the distance. And he's just like,
Hey, put that down. That's mine.
No, it's the Guildmasters.
you can see the small black rat-like creature kind of creep up on the party. And he glares daggers at you as he just says,
Hey, that's mine.
No, it's the
I-
Guildmasters.
No, I need that. I need that for me and my brother. You put it back, okay? The people that I'm going to trade it with are going to be coming soon.
Elliot sent us to find it because we need a help. The sky is breaking and there's meteors and scorpions and all kinds of horrible things happening.
You think I care? You think I care what happens to that place? After
But
what happened
Elliot's
to me?
at that place.
say again?
Elliot's at that place.
And you mean Ethan?
You mean Ethan?
Yes,
Ethan. Sorry, I don't know why I kept thinking Elliot.
And at that, he kind of pauses. Wait, my brother didn't come with you?
No, he's trying to help everyone in town because of all the horrible things going on.
And
It really
He-
did
he-
cause a lot of problems.
Oh, you're all there. Okay.
Well, I know you're all new, but you really don't know what this world's like. You gotta take power wherever you can, or it'll devour you, the world. Oh, my brother didn't come with you, did he? Oh,
Oh, he didn't.
then I guess I'll have to do this without him.
and he kind of bares his large front teeth.
I'll fight all of you.
Azurus glares and uses leer. Are you sure about that?
Oh, don't hurt him.
I'm not
Leer won't
hurting.
hurt.
I'm
Go
just
ahead
trying
and
to
go
make
make
you
an
know.
accuracy roll for it.
Alright. What was it? Just 3 days, because that's all I got. Yep. No, wait. Tough contest, 2 days.
And you hit. He kind of crunches down, almost like he's trying to fold himself into a little black ball.
Hey, I need that gem. You guys don't know how much I need it. Put it back. I know it hurt the guild master, but
It's hurting everyone. It's hurting Ethan.
It's
and
hurting.
I promised him that I would bring you home. So you are also coming with the gem.
no. If you do that, they'll kill me. No, I'm not going anywhere. And
They can't
Who is
kill you
they?
if you're a part of our team.
Say again.
Who is they?
the guild. And if I don't have that gem, then the other ones will kill me. I can't. I have to give it to them.
The guild won't kill you if you join, because then it's just an accident.
No, they
You-
know who did it. I can't go back there.
Ethan isn't going to be leaving there. And he's going to be very upset if we don't come back with you.
Us, we can just stop those guys. We stopped a lot of things. I beat up bats with my head, he says, pointing at the little bump on his head.
Go ahead and give me a special contest allure.
No.
I think for social interactions like this, we're supposed to use tough, cool beauty.
Oh, tough, cool beauty.
Yeah, tough.
Or
beauty cute.
smart.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
make that a
those
cool
ones.
contest allure.
Oh. That's even worse.
No, I don't believe you. I bet you all got past them while they were sleeping. Just like I did.
Wait, they were sleeping for you? They woke up and we had to slam the door and they ran into the door and they said they were going to chew through the roof and try to eat us. But probably we should hurry home soon because I don't want to be here when they get out. Is there a shortcut back home?
No, not really. You have to go back the way you came. But I'm not letting any of you go anywhere. Oh no.
No, you're coming with us.
Oh no. No. They're here. They're here.
Then we move.
You
If you're afraid of them.
I was just gonna say, you all can suddenly feel kind of like a weight has suddenly landed on all of your shoulders as two figures approach. One quadrupedal, one bipedal. They appear to be draped in cloaks made of dead leaves. Their faces obscured, their bodies obscured, and their intentions palpably malicious. We'll just represent them with the horses.
Ponytail and Rapidash?
The two figures kind of look over the whole group, and you can get a feeling that all of you are just being dismissed right now. Like you're not even worth the effort of looking at, much less speaking to. Yet you can still hear a bit of a drawl come out, almost like one of them hasn't spoken in a long time. Where is the gem? Hey. And Dimitri kind of falls into a stumble of words, unable to make sense of anything.
It's back with the Guildmaster already. I'm just trying to bluff my way out. I am very scared, but bluff.
All right. Let's see how
I
well you
was
do it.
literally
Give
about
me-
to say the same thing, but Orem beat me to it again.
You
You both could support each other on this one. So both of you could roll me I don't know. Let's try a smart. Let's do a smart etiquette, or not smart etiquette, a smart perform.
smart.
Smart contest perform.
Hmm.
Ooh, I keep getting ones. Look at how many ones I've gotten in a row.
All right, Jet, make your argument.
Yeah, at this point, Edge is probably already back at the guild with it. We were just here to collect Dimitri.
The two figures kind of look at each other. You can hear silent whispers. Whispers that sound almost un-Pokemon-like before they turn back. We want him. And they point over at Dimitri.
No, I promised his brother I'd take him. And Argus is like cowering, but he still steps in front. He's going to defend him, even if, he is scared of all crap of these guys.
Okay. What do the rest of you
We're
do?
not letting you take him.
Hmm.
Oh, I was gonna ask, do I have my health back fully at this point?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I should have eaten an orange berry.
I did make mention of it earlier.
You did.
We did, and we didn't do it.
Jolene is
Go on.
Jolene is going to float there in front of slightly above Argus, just giving them the stink eye, and say, "Darling, if you want him, you're gonna have to get through us. We had promised to bring him back to his brother, and quite frankly, I don't break my promises."
The figure who had spoken wheezes. And it's the kind of wheeze where they sound like they are trying to catch their breath, but it carries the horrible, horrible connotation that they are, in fact, laughing. The other figure points at Dimitri. We want him. One
can't-
chance.
You can't have him.
No. He is a part of our family. And
Oh,
you will
that's
not
so
take
sweet.
from our family.
Dimitri just kind of like, he just stumbles. It's like, oh no.
I was already planning on adopting Ethan. I can get another one.
All right. Is everyone in consensus then?
All the good I'll do, sure.
For all the good he'll do and probably hurt us. Oh boy, here we go.
Then allow me to utilize the random NPC and let's see exactly who your foes are.
Ah, the DM had no intention of us fighting this. Got it.
No, this was actually something I had planned to use with the random NPC.
It's when
Oh.
they throw off their cloaks and we see their true form.
Mm-hmm.
All
Okay.
anime
Oh
style.
god, it's Godzilla!
So I gotta pop it out. There we go. The bipedal one slowly takes off its hood, revealing a bright, smiling purple face.
Oh no!
Wait.
But something seems even strange about that. You can see what appears to be roots almost digging into its flesh, giving it an almost skeletal visage. Your funeral. See, and I need... And the other one kind of throws back its hood too, revealing a kind of elderly snout with great branching antlers behind it, and a snow white maw, or a snow white mane underneath it. It appears almost like a deer. But again, just like the other, it has roots digging into its flesh, spreading out from all the small pieces of its body that you can see.
I don't know what these are based on their descriptions.
I know. What the second one is.
Gengar and Stantler. Or not
Oh.
Stantler, what's it called? The deer one from Gen 5.
Sawsbuck?
Sawsbuck, yes. Winter
Is
form
it
Sawsbuck
Gengar
specifically.
though?
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that one.
Who knows?
Well, you know.
The world may never know.
Wait a second. He's using stats of his own custom making while these are the forms they're taking.
Zorark and Zorark. Maybe.
Doesn't-
The figures prepare to fight. And you can see, even underneath their cloaks, rippling muscles. These are not foes that are going to be easy to take down. What do you all do?
Well, are we rolling initiative then?
Oh, just go ahead and tell me what are y'all doing?
Where is
Well,
Ethan's location compared to us?
I assume they're each about like one pace in front of you. And I assume that the order you all are in is the order you're going to be, with Dimitri kind of a little bit behind.
Okay, wait,
Hey,
do we have an
that works.
escape orb on us?
We don't have an escape orb, but we do have a sand trap orb.
Are they between us and the way back?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not going to be an option.
Running's not an option. Unless we can all flank them.
Or if we can float down the river.
Jump off. Ugh, the waterfall's probably gonna just crush us, and we're gonna land really hard.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask this earlier. Where does the waterfall lead? Like, are they flowing past
We're
us,
still in-
or?
They're all kind of flowing into this large pit, and you do not see a river actually being taken out because it's literally like a quarry. So the water is going somewhere. The best guess any of you can have is that it is flowing somewhere into a hole that you cannot see.
So, like, into a underground river or some kind of vat or something. Okay.
Yes.
Well, considering it's not overflowing, I would assume that it's either a ginormous lake underground or a river that is going elsewhere. Good to know. We've got an escape plan for if this doesn't work out, but Jet's gonna do a charge stone.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your initiatives.
Alrighty then.
Unless somebody else doesn't want to do combat.
I was debating on if I wanted to try getting off an aromatic mist right away, but
Okay, so
I
we
have
are
to
doing.
I have I
Yeah.
have to roll.
We could
to see
try
if
to
I can
tra-
even do that.
We could try to trade my meteorite.
We have 2 meteorites.
Oh, we do.
No,
Alright,
I have your
initiative.
meteorite.
Oh yeah, you do have my meteorite. I forgot about that. Which means I still have an extra bag slot. I could have held on to something. I could have brought the cup into battle. Dang it.
Alright, rolling for initiative.
Could you promote me again to do the initiative? Or Blue can do it
Yes.
this time. Or
Yeah.
There you
Alright.
Asterisk can do it this time.
go.
Why isn't my thing... Oh, okay. Now the dice appeared.
You only roll one
Uh,
die and then add your initiative to that.
No, I know. I had clicked it and no dice was appearing.
Survival,
And I clicked it 2 other times. And
Alright.
still no dice appeared, and then they suddenly
Huh?
appeared.
Time
That
for
puts me at...
bashing something?
Tokeme has replaced a die for Jet for combat, not join with a 6.
Okay, 2 plus 1, 2, 3, 5. Alright, Jet, your initiative.
Well, thank you for that, Toshime. That would be 9.
9 for Jet. Alright, then Argus.
9.
You two roll again.
Is my thing lagging? Okay, there we go.
Argus rolled 2. Let's see what Jet's other roll is. I'll wait for Jet's second roll. Julian, your score.
5.
5. You're gonna be above me since you rolled higher.
I'm above Jet. Somehow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put you above me.
And what was it for initiative again? To determine?
Dex survival alert after 1 dice.
Okay. So we'll roll for the 2 strangers. The bipedal rolled 2. And he will be... He will probably be about a 13.
You know what? I'm not surprised.
With a 2. Maybe if
Uh,
we could make it into the Zubat cave, they could keep them. They can keep them busy.
Okay. Then the second one is 15.
Oh yeah, he's flexing on us with these. Quadruple
We-
is 15.
We should try to make it to the Zubat cave
We can't.
if we could get past them somehow.
1, 2, 3 dice for him.
And finally, little Dimitri.
Dimitri.
Do I count?
Dimitri has 5.
Amos.
For this fight, no.
All
Mostly because I've got something in mind.
Oh, Amos isn't here.
Alas, alas.
Alright then. What do you say? Dimitri has a 9,
5.
5. I'll have him go at the end.
Okay.
Okay, and that is the thing right now. Alright.
All right. Before the whole fight goes off, you can each hear Dimitri quickly squeak out to all of you, "Use the totem!" Before he kind of just curls up into a little ball. All right, let's see. I got to find the stat for this one. So you probably all are going to be seeing some loading.
Loading, 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 loading.
Where is it? There it is. Okay. I got to look up the move. There it is. All right. Oh, that's a quadrupedal. Oh, I gotta look up the other one. Oh. I'm trying to remember what gen he came out in. All right. Let me look.
Gen 5.
This is Gen 5.
Buck, yeah.
All right. So he wouldn't be in Hoenn then? He'd probably be in
Nope.
this one over here.
He's in Unova.
Okay.
This is kind of
He's in the same-
why I wanted to do a wiki for mine, because looking through a PDF
Yeah.
can be tedious.
Oh, tell me
Yeah.
about it.
Whereas a wiki, you just, all right, I want this Pokemon. Perfect.
Yeah, that would make this a heck of a lot faster. But that's random chance for you. Means it surprises even me. There he is. All right, he is going to use... Ooh. He's going to use Sand Attack.
Oh, Lord.
I already hate him.
And let's see who he's choosing to target. Looks like he is targeting...
Tokeme is giving a big lick to Jolene.
Aw. He's targeting the Amos. Should we allow the attack to continue going through, or should I have Rolligan choose somebody else?
I mean, technically it would put Amos out of the fight with sand in his eyes, and Amos would probably be focusing too much on it.
Okay.
My initial thought. Line up better.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. Dexterity fight channel. Let's take a look. A 4. I don't think Rare Animal even has enough dice for that to defend.
Why not?
So it's probably going to be an automatic success. It is not a damaging move, but it is going to reduce his accuracy. So sand kind of goes blasting all over the place, and Amos just kind of just grunts and groans as a large amount of the sand kind of drifts into his eyes. The figure that had done that kind of disappears into the cloud of dust. The other one suddenly rushes forward, and it gives... Let's find out. All right, that's a reroll. He gives Jolene a big old lick.
That is Gengar.
All right, that is dexterity fight brawl. Let's find out the dexterity over here. A 3.
Okay. I have enough dice I can attempt to evade it.
Go ahead.
So that's what I'm gonna try and do.
Oh, that Gengar. If it is Gengar, it's gonna be painful because it's Ghost type.
Oh crap!
Unfortunately, the Gengar comes, or not the Gengar, the opponent comes right through the dust cloud and gives Jolene a big lick through its grinning maw. And let's see. It is strength +1. You are dealt 1 damage.
Okay.
And I believe lick does something else, doesn't it?
3.
The chance to paralyze.
Yeah, 3
Okay.
dice with.
They're all 1s. You're good.
Amazing.
Wow.
All right. What are you going to do, Jet?
It should be me before Jet, because I won the reroll.
Oh,
Yep. Should be. Oh my god, I do have it backwards. I'm sorry.
How could you?
I make mistakes. Okay.
oh, that's what I heard. Somebody
What?
slapped a sticker. I was like, what was that noise?
Okay.
So what I would do is I would immediately pull out the totem.
All right. What are you going to do with the totem?
Activate it.
Do you know how?
Dimitri, how do I use this thing?
Dimitri's kind of curled up in a little ball and he's just unable to talk.
Well, I did feel better when I grabbed the gem with the totem, right?
Yes, you did.
Can I press the gem to the totem?
Sure.
Then I will do so.
All right. The totem hums and begins to vibrate strongly. You can see small blue lines kind of etching out along the wood as the eyes upon the figure glows. Before, with a sudden, you are all transported.
Huh?
You find yourself, or you find yourselves. Let me look for it. Standing in the middle of a town, a ruined city all around it. Up ahead, right in front of you, is a somewhat larger version of the totem that had just appearingly transported you. Its eyes are starting to dim down and the blue lines are fading away, but they clearly look almost one and the same. Before you realize it, Argus, the totem that you had been holding in your hand suddenly seems to it just dissolves upon itself and falls into dust. All around all of you are surprised townsfolk. Some of them trying to stammer out, what just happened?
Trying to figure that out myself. What did I do? Did I do it right?
Are we back at Starlight Town? Argus, what did you do?
Nothing you
Dimitri?
just said came through.
I said, I don't know. What did I do?
Okay, I will be right back. I'm gonna go help him fix his mic.
Okay.
It's not broken.
I don't think it's broken for him.
think-
Question. Is Dimitri with us?
Yes.
Ooh, Azurus is gonna sigh and he's
My
here.
mic is not broken.
You just need to turn off your
Noise cancellation.
yes, which is like what Zim is probably doing.
The gear icon. Go down to voice. Scroll down. Keep going. Just up. See where that voice processing is?
This.
Yeah. Turn it to none.
Okay. I did a thing. All by myself.
Yay.
Now we'll see if it helps.
Guess we'll find out.
Oh God!
By yourself.
You scared me. Don't you? No!
And ladies and gentlemen, a dorm has died. Wait a second.
Ladies and gentlemen, a dorm has died. Please give prayer to his death.
A moment of silence. All right, moment's over.
Do I still have the gem at least?
Yes.
I will put that in my bag and hug Dimitri.
Dimitri, he's actually appears to be trying to crawl away.
Nope, I'm hugging him. I'm scared. I don't know what happened. He is not getting away from hugs.
Isn't this precious? Cool.
All right. Roll
No,
me a quick dex. Just straight dex.
Do you want? There's actually a grapple roll if you really want.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's do a grapple.
Grapple is right here. Strength
Thank you.
fight brawl.
Strength fight brawl. He slips through, and he kind of books it through the crowd.
Dimitri?
Probably afraid because of what he's done. Well, let's go find someone important in the guild, like Edge or something, and...
Or just hand it to the guild master.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead to the guild master. Let's go.
If we meet someone along the way, we can get it to them because they're probably faster than us because they have longer legs. But we should probably head that way.
Where's the guild? It should be in the center. Where's the guild house?
Oh, it's the biggest building there.
Yeah, let's head to the biggest building. And I can let Ethan know that Dimitri is in town.
Yeah. We should probably also
All right.
tell
Go
one of the
ahead.
guards about Dimitri. Because we don't want him dying.
He's not allowed to get in trouble.
Okay, lead the way, Argus. You did the job.
I did the job!
You found the right waterfall. You got us back home. You are proud.
I am fearless! As long as it doesn't have bats, or darkness, or bugs, or scary people, or
As
angry
Argus is
balloons,
explaining,
or...
Azurus is walking ahead.
Oh, I thought you were just pushing me
Chet is
along
as
as I was
well.
counting on my claws. Stay
No,
away
no,
from me!
we all just walk past you, leaving you to counter on your claws.
And
Wait for
can I roll to just grab the bag and just have the gem with me as he's
That's my
counting?
bag.
Yeah, go ahead.
What would I roll?
Probably. We'll just do a strength fight brawl.
Alright.
All right. Do you resist?
I resist. I want to clash that with a headbutt.
You're in my defense. No, counter argument. You're being distracted, counting your claws about what you're afraid of. Reason why I'm taking it.
I got to agree. So I will say you could do a strength fight brawl with a -1 die.
The curse of the tooth!
And as your bag is ever so sitcomically taken away from you and you struggle to catch up, the sun grows bright over the cracked shield in the sky. And so ends our session for today.
Alright, and I'm writing down the final notes.
Okay, I think it really is his microphone that just cannot pick him up with his high-pitched voice.
Yeah.
I just had him
Alrighty.
completely turn off his noise suppression. It's just the mic cannot pick up how high-pitched he is.
Aw, he's adorable.
I will stab you all!
Can you
Alright,
really just
so-
tell
He
us?
says that's a bad thing.
Sorry.
We're going to be going into our after session. We'll just do it real quick. Let's start right in the middle now, and we'll go clockwise. Argus, something you like, something you felt could have been improved.
I loved the bats and trying to think of ways that I was attacking while being scared. Also, Dimitri! I need to go hug him some more. Something that needs work. I'm not sure. I have no idea. But I
Okay.
am rich. I am the richest dino.
Actually, you're not right now because I have your bag.
Give me back my bag!
No.
All right, moving along. Zim, something you liked, something you felt could have been improved.
Something I liked. I mean, I definitely enjoyed the bats, the role playing that you did with them. As for something to improve, just me myself, I'm terrible.
Oh, the dice rolls just kind of weren't with you on this time around.
Zim, I've
And-
had worse.
And that'll
Sorry.
be something I'll address a little bit at the very end once everyone has had their turn. So don't worry. I have noticed on certain things, and I'll make sure to say something. Blue or Azurdeyu, something you liked, something you felt could have been improved.
Alright, something I liked. Well, I like the tension you were building up with the cloaked figures and such. I also like how we're now back in town and we can rest. Yay! One thing that can be improved, movement. Movement needs to be improved.
Okay.
What I, in my group, did was we had base movement of, I believe it was 3. And
Okay.
depending And dexterity, it was added upon dexterity and athletics. So you had a maximum movement space, depending on your stats, like
Mhm.
Fire Emblem.
Okay. So you'd want a movement speed that is more consistent then, that could be improved upon.
Yeah, I believe consistent is good. That way we are for sure like knowing, okay, this is what we are working with. It's not like I hope I roll high enough.
That is true. All right, I'll definitely keep that one in mind, and we as a group can decide what we like. Lyndon, something you liked, something you felt could have been improved.
I liked the bats. I liked getting to be cold Jolene for a minute there. Or the just dismissively just saying that she didn't hear the reinforcements was quite fun. Just like, I know. But I can't think of anything that needs improved besides the movement. But I think as asterisks, their suggestion sounds pretty good for that.
Okay. And I think that is everyone, since Animal never came back, unfortunately. All right, so the things I noticed for this one, I do notice that we had a little bit of a spotlight on one or two individuals for this one. Not necessarily because of anyone's fault necessarily. It's just kind of that's how the dice and the events sort of randomly roll. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew, favorites weren't being played here. This was just literally how the dice came. As well as just what players decided to do. So in particular, like Argus, you had a good time this session, I would imagine, because you got to do a lot of stuff. You
I
defeated
did
a lot of
way
the
too many
Zubats.
things.
Yeah, you defeated the Zubats. You pulled open the door. You managed to get past the rainbow waterfall, and you activated the totem.
I just have way too many ability dice that give me so many more chances to do things than some of the others.
Well, I would.
That is a
I don't know if
balance
I would
problem.
disagree. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily disagree, but I'll also say, like, I think that's just random chance that happened. Like, for example, when you succeeded at pulling open the door, it was because I had set the door to be a 2 strength success cumulative. So it just so happened that it was done on your turn because Jet rolled a 1. If Jet had rolled a 2, Jet would have pulled it open.
So mastered tackle in a single battle.
Yeah.
I also want to point out that stat-wise, you have 2 in all stats and 2 in
Yep.
survival. So anything with survival, you're having 4 dice in.
That's one of my big bonuses that is making it a lot easier for me, especially in RP situations.
Mm-hmm.
But then it comes into battle or talking of people and you see my contest is 0. I figured that's my balancing factor.
As we saw when you tried to convince them otherwise.
When I tried
Dimitri,
to convince
that is.
Dimitri.
Yeah. But again, I wanted to make sure everybody knew favorites were not being played here. That's just kind of how the events went. And I'm hoping in the next session or the next few sessions, I'll be able to move the spotlight around a little bit more. That'll be kind of my focus for a bit.
Oh, Rygon.
Yes.
The memory card was played.
Oh, yes, the memory card was played. Then let me think. There is actually a memory I did want to do, and I forgot to do it since the stuff was going on. But Jolene, as the figures revealed themselves to you, showing their grinning purple face and their deer-like visage, the roots seemed familiar to you. You can remember something about a digging sensation that caused a shiver to run up your spine, or as much of a spine as you have. And you could remember something about a pain that you can't clearly recall. All that you can remember is just simply the sensation of wood on flesh. And the idea that you do not want that to happen again. I would imagine anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so that
Hooray.
is your memory. Thank you for reminding me on that. That was something that I had thought about. I just forgot to play it at the time it was due.
It's fine. It's not like I forget many things as well. We all forget many things. Not just me.
Yeah. Overall, I think the session went by fairly well. The bridge section took up a little bit more time than I had hoped, but we finally got to reveal to you all your first major antagonists. So I hope you enjoy seeing more of them.
They're bad guys.
The question is, are they really bad guys, or are they misunderstood?
I guess
Did
that'll
they
be for you all
attack
to determine.
Because, I can tell you, okay, specifically Rykon, of good villains.
Well, we'll see. These are only the villains for your first region. I can't make them like super spectacular. Or you all will just measure all your other villains by the same cut or by the same ruler.
You have a point.
Anyway, any final thoughts from anybody before we close off?
I want to turn in the gem.
Unfortunately, we'll do that next session. I would have allowed the RP to go on for this one, but I figured that would probably take a while, and I felt that was kind of a good stopping point.
It's a funny ending.
We at least have 12 out of 12 EXP now, right?
That's correct. You all get 2 EXP for this, and you should get more on the next session because you will technically have completed your mission.
Away!
What's up?
Did Jolene want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say I need to head to bed here now. I have
Yep.
work. I have work
Go ahead.
tomorrow.
Thank you so much for meeting with us.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I will deafen and do my video outro. As for stream outro, I have no clue.
Sounds like a plan. All right. Thank you to everybody who stopped on by for Pokerole.
And y'all.
And thank you to all my players. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for running, Rygon, and thank you everybody for playing. And everybody out there in the chats, thank you so much for joining us today for Starlight Expeditions Pokerole. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Twitter, Patreon, and more. There on the website, as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, donators, and subscribers. It is because of your support that I'm able to continue bringing these streams to you all. I really cannot do this without your guys' help and support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by picking up Streamloots cards through, of course, Streamloots, as well as simply sharing the stream around. But for now, don't forget to check out my friends that have joined us tonight, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
The Duke says Duke.
The Duke.